Look who's at first base, Jason Giambi. We've seen him in a pinch hitting role 3 times. He has 2 hits, a walk, and 4 RBIs. He's going to get 4 at-bats, it looks like, this afternoon, giving Todd Helton a break. Let's take a look at A.J. Hinch's lineup. He will have Ryan Roberts up top. Stephen Drew is sitting this one out. A lot of righties against De La Rosa. Eric Burns making his first start since returning from the DL. He missed 64 ball games with a broken hand that required surgery. Justin Upton, Mark Reynolds back in there. Rusty Ryle. Chris Young is swinging the bat a little bit better of late. John Hester will be behind the plate. Augie Ojeda will play shortstop for Stephen Drew. And on the hill, Yusmero Petit. Let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on De La Rosa, hunting his 14th win.
Fastball that will cut and sink, 96 miles an hour, big curveball, slider. He'll figure out which one he wants to go to after the first couple pitches he throws them, and finally go to that change up with a good fade on it. Just look for Jorge to go out there and pitch like he did the last time that he faced the Arizona Diamondbacks back on July 20th. And as I mentioned in our open a few moments ago, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and only 4 hits.
He has historically been very good against Arizona. In fact, he has the lowest ERA against Arizona of any opponent that he has at least 3 starts against. And the first pitch is a strike. And you know what I loved about that? Not only that it was a strike, the last few starts for him, he'd been up with his fastball, the strike zone. I know that's 1 pitch, but he was down at knee level. It's something he worked very hard on between starts.
Well, and he needs to, because you make too many mistakes up high, they'll get hit out. So that's a conscious effort from him, what he was doing in the bullpen with Bob Apodaca and all those guys, to come out and really attack from about the thigh down to the knee area.
Here's the 1-1 on Ryan Roberts. That's down low, 2-1. Game time temperature 78 degrees. Great crowd last night, more than 39,000. Nice one gathering today. That's up high, 3-1. And the fan favorite here at Denver, Eric Burns, is on deck. De La Rosa regathers his thoughts. Here's the 3-1 on Ryan Roberts, and it is popped up. Good pitch.
That's a huge pitch.
You know you have a lot of fastball when in a 2-0, 3-1 situation, when every hitter in the world is sitting dead red, you can beat him with it still.
And you just get a weak pop up to second base.
Take a look at the rest of the defenders this afternoon. Seth Smith, Carlos Gonzalez, Brad Hopp in the outfield. Ian Stewart and Troy Tulowitzki will be on the left side. Clint Barmas, Jason Giambi for Helton on the right side. Torey Alba again doing the catching. All of that presented by Toyota. And here's Eric Burns. We saw him in a pinch hitting role in the 9th inning against Franklin Morales. And he got a base hit, kind of punched a single to right. Again, he missed 64 games. He was plunked against the Texas Rangers earlier this year on the hand, and it required surgery. That's just inside. It's 2-0. Home plate umpire is Mike Muchlinski.
That's a tough one to say.
I'm not going to say it again.
Okay. We'll just call Mike the rest of the game.
Along with Mike Everett at second base. He was at first, and the crew chief, Jerry Davis, is at third. 2-0's low, 3-0. So De La Rosa's fallen behind the first 2 hitters. And the 3-0 is right down the middle. 3-1.
Well, he really slowed down his delivery. I know he pauses, kind of his new thing now, but that last one, that 3-0, just to make sure he gathered everything before he went to the plate.
And that's just a tad inside. He's not missing by much. So De La Rosa walks Burns. And let's take a look at the Bird Automotive keys to victory, as written by Jeff Hughes.
That's right, the dynamic duo, and I'm talking about the top 2 at the the order there. We just saw Carlos Gonzalez and Seth Smith, and then at first base, Jason Giambi today is going to get a chance to get 3 or 4 at bats, to give Todd Helton the afternoon off, and finally finish it off. And finish these D-backs off with a 3-game sweep. Yeah, the Cincinnati Reds coming in for 4 games. Don't give them a chance to get any breathing room.
Justin Upton, who eats up left-handed pitchings at the plate. And he goes to lay down a bunt. He's going to brag on his power numbers. We'll let him bunt all day, right?
Exactly.
Well, here he is talking to his bat. Bat? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Your bat, if you're an offensive player, is your best friend.
It's what you take to work every day.
And some nights for young players, it may be their date.
I've heard a guy taking their ball glove and putting it right by the bed, too.
Well, whatever works for you. Here's the 0-1. And a foul tip held 0-2.
I'm just surprised he tried to bunt that first time, though. With his numbers against lefties, as you were just talking about.
I mean, he's hitting .396 against lefties this year. His slugging percentage of .854 against southpaws leads baseball.
Yeah, and to go up there with a guy on first base and try to bunt in the first inning.
Fastball's outside. This is another area of, I don't want to say concern, but where Bob Apodaca would like to see Jorge De La Rosa polish things up. We've seen him a number of times with his great stuff get ahead 0-2, and then the next time you look up, it's 3-2.
Right, and that's why at some point you're sitting there in 6 or 7 innings thinking you might have to take him out because of pitch count.
In the air to left. You got it around the label. I know the fans all of a sudden were taken aback because of the trajectory of the baseball, but
no,
he got beaten inside. So Upton is retired, 2 gone, and that'll bring up Mark Reynolds, another one of those dangerous bats in the middle of the order for Arizona.
The one thing you do have, though, if you're the Rockies, you look at Upton with all his strikeouts, and of course Mark Reynolds with well over 180 strikeouts, actually 186 strikeouts. They do have some holes there. But you have to pitch to those holes, because if you don't, he'll take you deep.
Reynolds had last night off, and he fouls this first pitch. He was in the on-deck circle in the 9th inning. But Franklin Morales got the final out of the ball game before Reynolds could come up. Reynolds is 3 for 11 with a home run in his career matchups with De La Rosa. I mentioned De La Rosa against Arizona. He's been fabulous. He has an ERA of 188 in his career against Arizona.
And 6 of those are starts. And so far this year, 2-1, but he's pitched at least 6 2/3 innings in those 3 starts.
You know, that the loss goes back to when he wasn't getting any run support.
Oh, exactly. He only gave up 2 earned runs in that ball game. And they lost that game 2-0.
Yeah, this year the ERA is even better, 125 against Arizona. Here's the 1-1, 2-1. 21 2/3 innings coming in. He had allowed just 14 hits and the 3 overall runs. There are his 3 starts against Arizona. His last 2, 15 innings, 1 run allowed. That will work.
I like the 1 walk.
There goes Burns, and it's down low, and no chance to throw him out for Torrealba. So Burns is at second after the stolen base. As a club, Arizona second in the National League in steals.
8 stolen base for Eric Burns. As soon as that leg comes up, he was taken off. There wasn't any sort of reading the pitcher. They just took a guess and said, well, we're going to go first movement and see what happens, and they guessed right.
Let's see if he can make a 3-1 pitch on Reynolds. They're going to set up away. And he misses, so that's the 2nd walk of the inning. And now Rusty Ryle will come up. One of 3 hitters in the Arizona lineup that began the year and has played most of the year at AAA Reno.
Given a chance to give Brandon Allen the day off today, the left-handed batter for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Their young first baseman they got in a trade with the White Sox for Tony Pena. They got Ryle out there today. Pinch hit a couple times in the last few ball games.
He came up on August 10th. And that misses. So it's now 13 of the first 20 pitches by De La Rosa have missed. I suppose if you want to find a silver lining, he's not missing up, he's missing down.
Right, and that's just a little bit of a mechanical release point. Just really pulling across the ball a little bit more than anything, because he's missed in a few times. And when you do that, you just come across your body and don't get the wrist right on top enough.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I know you swinging a 1-0 changeup when a guy's struggling to.
Young hitter.
Yeah.
That's smart. That was a very smart call from Yorvi Torrealba, because he's thinking the same thing. Well, they got a young guy here that if I throw him a changeup that looks like a fastball coming out of the hand, he'll probably swing at it, and that's exactly what he did.
Fastball again low. Torrealba can't find it. And everybody moves up 90 feet. So now you put extra pressure on De La Rosa, so much so that Apodaca is going to go out and visit.
This is smart. We go out there, 14 out of the first 22 have been out of the zone, and you still have a chance to get out of the inning, but you have to make a pitch. That ball gets away from Yorvit, and when you pull off your mask like that as a catcher, you're really looking for help from the guys to say, where is it? The problem is, when you're facing that catcher and you say to his left, well, he's looking to his left arm instead of his right arm, so you got to really think kind of backwards there. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You're looking at it from a different angle. Say the ball's to your right. You're right. Well, that's not exactly where it is. So, well, the umpire kicked it a little bit too. Yorvit thought it was right by his feet, and finally Jorge was pointing over to the ball.
You'd be amazed how frequently that actually happens to a catcher. Two and one on Ryle with 2 outs. And he lines it into the seats foul. That guy grabbed it.
Bare hand, too.
Bare-handed line shot. Well done.
Nothing to it.
Why are y'all bringing your glove? Who needs a glove?
He had a glove, too. Watch this after he catches a bare hand, sits down, and then picks up his glove. There it is.
There it is.
I got my glove. I don't need it, though.
Put the glove down, make a catch. Only on the real tough ones I use the glove. 2-2, he went around. So shaky first inning for De La Rosa. No runs for Arizona. That's the bottom line. Burns and Reynolds left in scoring position. no harm done. Rocky's getting ready to roll on offense, and that dynamic duo we were talking about is up there at the top of the lineup once again for Jim Tracy. Carlos Gonzalez, Seth Smith, Jason Giambi for Todd Helton in the 3-hole. He's 5 for 12 with a couple of bombs this year against Arizona in interleague play when he was still playing for the A's. Tulowitzki, Hobbs, Stewart, Torrealba, Varmus, and De La Rosa. Yusmeiro Petit is ready to go, and the right-hander's first delivery is an off-speed pitch, high ball one on the former Diamondback farmhand Carlos Gonzalez, who is very close with Yusmeiro Petit, among several guys he grew up with in the Arizona chain. And another off-speed delivery. How about that? Have you ever seen that back-to-back changeups?
Well, Petit saw what happened with Doug Davis's second fastball that he threw last night. So he said, you know what, I'm not going to that again, because he took him way deep.
Well, guess what? He's got to go to the heater, you'd assume, here. He did, and he misses. It's 3-0. Rockies have gotten after Petit this year. However, over his last several starts, he's pitching his best baseball of the year. Here's the 3-0, and that misses, ball 4. Thank you very much. Carlos Gonzalez says, I'll jog down to first base as we take a look at the Fidelity scouting report on the native of Venezuela, Yusmeiro Petit.
Not an overpowering fastball. Has to cut it, sink it, work both sides of the plate. Slider, a little late break to it. It's a curveball, more of a slurvy type pitch, and then the straight changeup. And what you were talking about, Drew, he has been pitching much better of late. Think back to April and May, had an ERA 8-7. And in the last couple months, he's knocked that back down. August, his ERA was 3.54, and September 3.66.
Seth Smith, who last time I checked is swinging the bat decently, takes a strike. 4 hits on Friday, 3 last night. Great line by Jim Tracy in his post-game press conference, which we always have for you on the Rockies post-game report. He said, you know, just waiting for Smith to mix in a single.
Yeah, well, 4 doubles and a home run.
Gonzalez draws a throw. Gonzo at first has 10 stolen bases in 12 attempts. And in terms of catchers throwing him out, that's happened only 1 time.
Yeah, and John Hester behind the plate today, just 0-3 in his short major league career, throwing out runners.
This ball pulled foul. Everybody ducking, including CB Buster at first. I don't think CB looked. I think he just said, I got to get out of the way.
Yeah, well, that's the safest place to go, because the way that's hooking, if you try to go to his left, you're going to run right into this ball. So he just said, forget it. I'm going to duck.
I'm going to assume it's foul since it's right over my head.
And I'm right on the line.
Yeah. Down in the dirt, it's 1-2. We'll see if Gonzalez will be moving on this pitch.
I think it's a great pitch to run on. 1-2. Even if Petit throws a fastball, he's not that quick to the plate where you don't feel like you could outrun the throw if you had to.
Not going. And this ball is hit high, deep right field. Rockies have a 2-0 lead. Seth Smith. Don't touch him. You'll burn your hand. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
Well, maybe Jim Tracy needs to keep joking and say, you know what? I don't need any singles. You go ahead and keep hitting these home runs. 14th of the season now. Monday Cam will notice the eyes in the full extension where he is. Drops that back shoulder just a little bit to get the lift on the baseball. And it is truly remarkable what he's been able to do so far in this series. 8 for 10, now 2 home runs, 6 RBIs.
13 for his last 22, Jeff.
Well, I know. Can we go ahead and say National League Player of the Week? Is it too early?
No, it's not. Done deal. That pitch misses. 2-0 on Jason Giambi. Giambi 2 for 2 and a walk in a Rockies uniform. The walk came with the bases loaded. That forced in a run. He has a 2-run single and another single driving in a run. Now Giambi with a 3-0 count. Boy, he has fit in like a glove, hasn't he?
He really has, and he's such a professional hitter. That's the thing that impresses me the most about Giambi. Not really swinging too hard or swinging the pitches out of the zone. Even on that 2-0 to get him to 3-0, the ball was up a little bit. You feel like, okay, you try to make a swing at that. 3-0, you give him the green light, he doesn't swing at it.
Here's the 3-1. This ball pulled hard at first. Rusty Ryle will get to the bag. I was just looking at Justin Upton in right field. If Justin was any deeper for Giambi, he might as well sit in the seats.
He's going to get some paint on that back as deep as he was. But let's take a look at from the side, this swing of Seth Smith. I like that front foot gets locked down in there and really drives and get the hip rotation going through the baseball. I mean, that's just a swing that we talked about with Jim Tracy today. You and I had the privilege. Every day we get an opportunity to talk to him, and he was just marveling about Seth's swing and his balance and everything that comes through in the way it works.
He has the lowest maintenance swing on the Rockies. There aren't moving parts. Don Baylor chatted with him today, and he was just effusive in his praise of Smith, and said, "I don't say anything to him." He said, just keep doing what you're doing.
That's right.
You're good.
Well, and that's what you want to do when a guy's locked in like Seth Smith is. You just say hi to him when he walks in the clubhouse and then leave him alone.
That's at the knees, 2-1. So the Rockies have jumped out on Yusmeiro Petit, 2-0 behind that Smith 2-run home run. Two and two. Yesterday we were talking about number of at-bats for Carlos Gonzalez and projecting, all right, if he gets 550, 600 at-bats when you're playing every day in a full season, he projects to a 30-30 type of player. Well, the last at-bat for Smith was his 268th. He's got 14 home runs. He's in that same ballpark. Strike three on Tulowitzki. 2 outs. Toyota defensive alignment for Arizona. Burns is in left, Young in center. He's a good center fielder. Justin Upton in right. Mark Reynolds at third. Augie Ojeda can play everywhere in the infield. He's at short for Stephen Drew. Ryan Roberts is a versatile defender. He's at second all 3 games this series. Rusty Ryle. And behind the plate is John Hester. Now Brad Hopp, after spending yesterday, as Jim Tracy said, in Dr. Baylor's lab.
Well, just after watching so much videotape and trying to dissect the swing, figure out what's going on, you need then to get it out there and go ahead and take the work into the cage. And then once you feel like you got that cleaned up, the only next step is to take it right back out into the ballgame.
One of the things that Groove, Don Baylor, mentioned today is they've moved Brad slightly off the plate. They felt like his strength in that first half, an all-star first half, was going the other way, hitting the ball with authority. They feel like maybe he got too close to the plate and has really been getting busted in quite a bit.
Well, that front foot used to be like a little bit closer to the plate there. The left one did. So they just tried to back him out a little bit so he can free those hands up. Let's not forget, Brad's 6'4", and he's got a long reach and a long arms. That you get too close, you start to get tied up inside.
3-1. Brad didn't fire. It's ball 4. So it's a lengthy inning out there for Petit. He's thrown 23 pitches already, and now he's got to deal with the great power of Ian Stewart. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, you know the drill. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6, and feed your fever with 4 tacos for $1. That's what my family does. That's a steal. This ball is driven to right field and deep. Upton to the wall. He's a spectator. Ian Stewart with the Rockies' second 2-run shot of the inning. And it's 4-0 for Stewart. Home run number 22.
19 home runs on the year so far for Yusmeiro Petit to give up. There's no doubt about either one of these, on Seth Smith or Ian Stewart. Tried to go down and away, but that ball came back inside to the left or right in that sweet spot that they like it, right down in there, and gets the extension. You see how much Hester had to reach back across his body. That's how much Petit missed his location. When you miss your location at this level, this is what should happen to it.
Well, maybe Petit was letting everybody know how much confidence or lack of confidence he had in his fastball when he began the game with 2 changeups.
Well, that's a good point to make, Drew, because sometimes you come out of that bullpen as a pitcher, think, man, I really don't feel it today with that fastball. The arm just doesn't feel quite right. It's not coming out of my hand live, so I got to go more to an off-speed pitch.
4-0 Colorado. 2 walks, 2 bombs. And here's the Rockies' hottest hitter, part 2. Because part 1 is Seth Smith. Yorvi Torrealba's hitting 14 straight. And his average during the 14-game hitting streak is .365. He's taken over #1 duties behind the plate. Here's the 0-1 to Yorvi. Torrealba has been very, very productive in clutch situations. 10 for his last 14 with runners in scoring position.
I mean, give credit to him too. I mean, when he had the opportunity, he went out and just really, as Jim Tracy said, took the bull by the horns.
And Petit able to strike out Torrealba. In the inning, the Rockies get 4. That's always a good start. Seth Smith with another home run. And then a few minutes later, Ian Stewart goes deep. 4-0. After 1, you would say you're off to a good start. Rockies are off to a good start. Top of the 2nd inning. Jorge De La Rosa hopes for a quicker and more efficient inning as he walked a couple of batters in that 1st inning, then got the strikeout of Rusty Ryle to end the threat. This is Chris Young, and the fastball's down low.
Well, it's imperative that Jorge comes out this inning. And as you mentioned, get out of here 12, 14 pitches, whatever it is, if you can do less than that. But get your offense back going again.
That's in there for a strike.
You were staked to a 4-0 lead. Go out there, use your defense. You got the bottom part of the lineup and Chris Young, Hester, and Augie Ojeda. 6, 7, and 8. You get rolling again offensively.
2-1. Young went around. Two, and I'm kind of surprised Young didn't bite it.
Well, because he's not been able to lay off any sort of breaking pitches this whole series. The base hits that he's got now all been on fastballs.
This ball's hit a long way to left, and Chris Young has Arizona on the board. For Young, his 8th home run of the year. He's starting to get the swing back. That's his 4th hit in the series.
Yeah, a fastball again, though. Yeah, I mean 3-2, and you figure, you know what? The other club's up 4-0. He just laid off a breaking pitch. He come back with a fastball, and that one he didn't miss. One more look at it, and really didn't miss location by a whole lot, but where he did miss was up, right at the belt level. That's one of those things that the Diamondbacks have been wondering where that has been all year.
Hester takes a strike. Oh, 2. This is the 126th different lineup in 137 games for Arizona. That's a strikeout. De La Rosa's second of the ball game. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo with this afternoon's Mike Shaw Auto Update. Alana?
All right, Drew, thanks very much. The way that Jorge De La Rosa responds to giving up that home run to Chris Young is exactly the thing that pitching coach Bob Apodaca wants him to continue to work on. We all know that he's made a tremendous amount of progress in his mental game, but it's something that Dak wants him to continue to work on. He said he doesn't want him to get into that macho type of feeling of what type of stuff do I have? What's my delivery going to be? And it's all about anger management. Those were Dak's words. He said, you know what? Once he can continue to do that, it's going to help him tremendously. He says when he doesn't handle himself well mentally, that's where the problems come in. That's where the pitch counts get really high. That's when he gets out of his strike zone. He said if he can continue to work on the mental side of his game, he will continue to do well, guys.
Well, you know what I've noticed, Alana, and you bring up a good point. The last couple of starts, early in the game, he hasn't been real sharp, and he's had places where things could go south, yes, but he has taken the reins and gotten outs when he's needed them, and usually it's with the punch out.
Yeah, and I mean that's a prime example of what happened in the first inning. Had guys at second and third, was able to get the strikeout of Rusty Ryle to get out of that inning, and that's part of the maturing process. And this game of baseball is so mental. Yeah, you have to have the physical tools, but we just see this game eat up guys. It's eaten me up in the past where you're sitting there thinking, boy, am I ever going to get another hit? What's wrong with my swing? What's going on as a pitcher? Can I throw strikes? Why does there always seem to be traffic out there? I mean, I've seen so many guys not be able to make it at the big league level because of their mind. Not their physical ability, because what happens between the ears.
1-2 on Ojeda, and he's gone. So back-to-back punch-outs after Chris Young hit his first home run since August 4th. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day, as Yusmero Petit will be coming up. This from the great columnist Tom Boswell of the Washington Post. Baseball is really two sports, the summer game and the autumn game. One is the leisurely pastime of our national mythology. The other is not so gentle. I wish I had written that.
So true, though.
It's a great description of where we are right now. We are in the early stages of the autumn. And by the way, 6th inning, Jonathan Sanchez is pitching a gem for the Giants. Not what you wanted to hear, but here's the good part of this description. It's 1-0 San Francisco. So it's not like he's pitching a gem and the Giants are up 5-0. Backhand play for Barmes. He'll throw to Giambi. And Petit is gone. Chris Young hit a home run to left to get Arizona on the board. The Rockies lead at 4-1. Barmes, De La Rosa, Gonzalez next half. Road ahead brought to you by E470 and Express Toll, the best way to save time and money. Well, Arizona will depart and the Cincinnati Reds will come to town. The very hot Cincinnati Reds. They've won 6 in a row. Then the Rockies are off to San Diego. And it's the 8th inning in Atlanta, and Atlanta's leading 2-1. So Atlanta trying to stifle the Reds for the first time in a week. Clint Barmas will lead it off against Yusmeiro Petit here in the 2nd inning after the Rockies got 4 in the first. 2 2-run home runs if you're late to the party. Seth Smith and Ian Stewart. For Smith is 14th, for Stewart is 22nd. Good slider.
And Petit's really been working hard, and it hasn't shown so far in the ball game, but really getting a little bit more of a hip turn to hide that slider just a little bit longer from the hitters. Not quite the Louis Tiant we were talking about last night, but he's got more turn and more deception than he had earlier this year.
And Jim Tracy was telling us that may be the subtle difference for him as to why until today he's had a lot more success of late. And just like hitters, Huey, which you focused upon for so long, pitchers are always trying to tweak mechanics, something subtle that could provide a difference. 3-2.
No matter how long you play the game, you're always looking to do something. Everybody's always making adjustments one way or the other, whether it's the pitcher, the hitter, fielders getting rid of the baseball quicker.
One out. That's strikeout number 3 for Petit, and that'll bring up De La Rosa. Well, if you have windshield issues, we know who to call. Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or you can reach them online at safelite.com. Rockies in the second half, 29-19, 10 games north of 500, the 3rd best record in the second half in the National League. Only the Cardinals and Phillies have a better mark. And the Cardinals and Phillies will be in the postseason.
Well, they lead their division. Cardinals can clinch pretty quickly here, the lead they have.
They've just taken off. I mean, Wainwright and Carpenter, both are healthy, both are enjoying fabulous seasons. And the acquisition of Matt Holliday has not hurt at all. Fouled off. How about Pujols? They're going to give him a day off, right?
Yep.
You look at the major league leaders in run support. De La Rosa, pretty nice run support. He's got good run support so far today. But they're going to give Albert a day off yesterday. I said, hey, Albert, would you mind pinch hitting here in the 10th? De La Rosa's gone. No problem. He hit his 44th home run ball game.
Over.
That's it. Hope you didn't break the sweat jogging around the bases.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that today, but that's the luxury Jim Tracy has by being able to put Jason Giambi at first base, have Todd Helton on the bench.
The last 5 ball games for Gonzalez, 7 for 20, a couple of bombs. 4th in the league in batting average in the second half. He walked and came home with a Smith home run his first time up. He still has not seen a strike. 5 pitches, all out of the zone.
And A.J. Hinch, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who was a player development guy there before he became manager, is talking about Gonzalez, how comfortable he looks at the plate. Because he's seen this guy a lot throughout the minor league system, coming up through the Diamondback system. A.J. says this, the way he's taking pitches now. Such a difference.
And it's rolled to right, a base hit for Gonzalez. And when you feed him a strike, more often than not, he's going to get the fat part of the bat on the baseball. 2 outs for Seth Smith. It's time for our job done right player of the series. We're going to give it away early in the game because Seth Smith can't be anybody else. He's 8 for 10, a couple of home runs, 6 ribbies, 4 doubles. Pretty good month for a lot of guys. Presented by the Colorado Association of Mechanical and Plumbing Contractors to have your next building or service project done right the first time. Visit mpccolorado.org. And a huge jump. Gonzalez easily steals second. That's his 11th bag of the year. I was just going to ask you, do you run real early here?
Well, yeah.
Thank you for the answer, Huey.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to run first pitch. How about that?
Well, you know what? Have you stolen the signs again?
Yeah, I was looking at the catcher pitcher, but that was an easy one because Petit had thrown over there a couple times when he was on first base back in the first inning. But he just read that so well. And now John Hester behind the plate 0 for 4, throwing out runners this year.
Ribby out there for Smith. And he rips it foul. Here's our AAA. How far did it travel? First inning. Smith launches one 384 feet into the seats. How far did it travel is brought to you by AAA Travel. AAA, that is a place Seth Smith won't see probably ever again.
Nope. Not with a gorgeous swing like he has.
2-strike count, and that has not been a problem for Smith. He's leading the National League in hitting with 2 strikes.
283, 36 for 127.
That's impressive, especially when there's another guy on your club by the name of Todd Helton.
Well, he learned from him. That swing we saw last night, the one he flicked out the left for the double.
Outside. I mean, that was such a Helton-esque swing. Or as you said, filleted.
He just filleted.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Threw his bat over there and hit it right down the line. Hey, good news out of Milwaukee now. 1-1 and heading to the top of the 7th.
That is good news. So it's 1-1 at Miller Park, Giants and Brewers. Smith will back out. What's going on with these clouds, by the way, overhead? We're supposed to have nothing but sun today. Marino, are we okay? Weather-wise?
Three o'clock. That's all right.
And it's 2-2. You know, it's interesting for me. We talked off the top of the broadcast about Gonzalez and Smith up top. You have Giambi in the 3-hole. The first 2 guys could hit in the 3-hole for a lot of teams.
Well, they could, just because of their strike zone discipline and then the power. They're not afraid to hit, as you mentioned, especially Seth Smith with 2 strikes, because that's such a big thing to be able to hit for an average when you get 2 strikes at the big league level.
Let's see if he gives in with the fastball.
Well, yeah, but he's got to look who's seeing on deck. You got Giambi on deck.
3-2 with 2 outs. Gonzalez at second. He got him with a fastball up and out of the zone. So Gonzalez singles and steals second. He's left at second. 4-1 Colorado. runs early in the ballgame. Seth Smith and Ian Stewart. Upstairs with Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. We've been joined by the Carlson family, Nate and Sam. How you guys doing?
Very good.
Yeah, we do this every Sunday, promoting responsible fatherhood, and it's always good to see dads out at the ball game with sons or daughters. You guys having a good time so far?
Great time so far.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having us.
Oh, you bet. You bet. Club's doing well, isn't it?
Very well.
Stepping up will be Ryan Roberts in the third inning to face Jorge De La Rosa. The one run for Arizona also came on a home run, that by Chris Young. And the off-speed delivery is in there for a strike. Roberts popped up on a 3-1 pitch to Clint Barmas, his first time. Eric Burns on deck. De La Rosa 13-9 this year. We need an offer at the fastball. It's 1-1. Understand you have a question for us.
Yes, we know that there's a lot of major leaguers that follow in their father's footsteps, but with the recent call-up of Eric Young Jr., we were wondering how many major leaguers have played on the same team as their father.
You know, that's an excellent question. I'm going to answer it in two ways. Jeff's going to help me out here. First of all, Sam, his dad may know this, but there have been, amazingly enough, a lot of fathers and sons that have played in the big leagues, not always on the same team, which is your question, but there's been great ones. The Bells, there were 3 generations of the Bells that played. This on the ground is short. Tulowitzki has it to Giambi. Barry Bonds, son of Bobby Bonds. Bobby was a great player.
Did you say the Bells? You said
yeah.
The Bells, the Griffies.
The Griffies, and they did play on the same team. They played together in the outfield in Seattle, which, I mean, can you imagine that? He's running around and go, Dad, I got it. Which at that point in time, the kid, and that's what they called his son, the kid did take everything. Dad played in like 3 feet to his left, 3 feet to his right.
And they also hit home runs in the same game.
An amazing accomplishment. But there have actually been a lot of father-son combinations through the history of the game. I'm trying to think if any other dads and sons played together, though.
I'm not sure about that. You got the Fielders, though, Prince Fielder, and then
Cecil.
Cecil.
Of course, when Prince finally made it to the big leagues, Cecil was out of the game. But here's a quick aside about the Fielders. When Prince was playing, when Cecil was playing for Detroit, they played at Tiger Stadium back then before the new ballpark. Sam, I know you love all this stuff. This ball's hit well by Burns to center field. Gonzalez going back. He's going to get there. 2 outs. Prince was 12 years old, folks. He's always been strong. He was 12 years old. He went upper deck in batting practice at old Tiger Stadium. There's only a few guys who go up there. I mean, of course.
I did during
Jeff
the ball game
Houston
go, thank you.
Went up there.
But no, how special is that for a 12-year-old kid to be able to take batting practice with his dad at old Tiger Stadium,
right,
and then also hit a home run? I mean, that had to be impressive for the guys that were in the same locker room.
Yeah.
With Cecil.
That's called good genetics. They both were big, strong, young folks. Oh, you know what? We got another one for you. The Raines, Tim Raines. Doug Marino just handed this to me. Tim Raines and Tim Raines Jr. Didn't have a real long big league career, but they played together with Baltimore in 2001. You can ask your dad about Tim Raines. All right, really fast, really good player.
A lot of stolen bases.
Major league coach now.
Yep. Cool. Also the last guy to not wear a helmet with ear flaps back in 2002 with the Florida Marlins.
That's right. Bad idea. You make sure you get your ear flaps on when you go to the plate. Always. Outside, it is 2-0 on Justin Upton. You got us thinking about some other fathers and sons. I will tell you this. Eric Young Jr., who's with the Rockies now, and his dad, who's a wonderful guy. Clint Hurdle in a couple of spring training games. That's fouled off. When Eric Sr. was still playing and Jr. was in the Rockies minor league system, he would call him up for the day so they could play against each other, which was a great gesture by Clint and just a great moment for father and son. They both brought the lineup card out. Got another one for you. So you're reading my notes now. Moises Alou played for his dad, Felipe. And Cal Ripken and Billy Ripken, 2 brothers, played for their dad, the late Cal Sr. in Baltimore. Former teammates of Jeff Houston. You played for Cal Senior too, didn't you?
No, I did play for Cal Senior.
It's a broken bat, soft fly ball that is foul.
Fortunately, C.B. Buckner was right on that call. Got out there and looked and made the turn. Back in the old days, the chalk was on the lines. Now they're all painted, and sometimes it's tough to tell where the ball lands, but a little kick up there. And
why CB was all over that because the divot that it kicked up was green.
He's got to replace it.
So it's 3-2 with 2 outs on Justin Upton.
One last, it hasn't happened yet. Jim Tracy played in the big leagues. His son Chad might have the opportunity the Texas Rangers to play.
Chad has had a phenomenal year. He's going to lead the Texas League in home runs. He has a chance with a couple games left to lead the Texas League in RBIs. He plays for Frisco in the Rangers organization. 3-2, foul tip. It keeps the at bat going for Upton.
Sam's got 2 younger brothers, so
well, there you go.
Keep us going. He's a lefty, and
you throw lefty and hit lefty. That a baby. Good deal.
Nice. Always looking for left-handed pitching.
Writes with the right hand though, so he's got the ambidextrous going for him.
Well, he could be like the kid in the Yankee system then.
Pitches with both hands.
Uh-oh.
This ball's hit a long way to center field. Gonzalez going back, and it is off the wall. And it's good. Oh, that's embarrassing. Upton is going to have a 420-foot single. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's going to hear about that. Unless I missed something. Did he fall or something?
He didn't fall. He just saw him hit it out. He just did not run hard, and you can't do this. I don't care how long you've been playing, what you think. He thought it was a home run. Even De La Rosa thought maybe it was a home run, but that short hopped the wall. You cannot end up at first base. To me, that's just being a little selfish. Just jogging out there, and then once it happens, you still have the opportunity to get to second base, and you don't do it.
That should never happen. Mark Reynolds at the plate. And Justin's a good kid, and he just kicked the bag at first. He's embarrassed.
Goes back to what I've said before, though. You only have to run hard 4 or 5 times a day. That's it. That's all I'm asking the guys to do when I was coaching. Say that 20 seconds out of your day, run hard. When you really break it down.
Yep. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, I'll tell you about one more family, Sam, because you have 2 brothers. I have 3 boys at home. They all love baseball like you. You can be like the Drew family. All 3 Drew kids were first-round picks, and all 3 played in the big leagues. Steven, who's in that dugout, not starting today, normally the starting shortstop for Arizona. His brother J.D. with Boston, a big star. And Tim's now out of the ballgame. He was a pitcher out of baseball. That kicks away, and now Upton's going to get to second base. That's a wild pitch, and it's the second wild pitch of the ballgame on De La Rosa. And now you put a little more heat. You know, the Upton mistake, you had him at first. Now if Reynolds gets a hit, Upton's going to be the fastest man in Denver.
You better believe it. He's going to get around the bases pretty quick if something happens.
Here's the 1-2 on Reynolds. And again, Torrealba had to block the baseball. 2-2.
Well, he called for the hard slider down and in. So the way it's been going today for De La Rosa, he's been really holding on to the ball just a little too long and burying everything, whether it be inside and low or out in front of the plate. Another hard slider.
He got it. No harm done. Upton's left at second base. He's not looking forward to that trot to the dugout when A.J. Hinch comes in. Nate, Sam Carlson, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the ball game.
Appreciate it.
Sam, keep throwing letters. Justin Upton hit a 420-foot single. This is how he's handled it. He's yanked him out of the ball game. Alex Romero's now in right field. Here's Jason Giambi. The shift is on, and the fastball is in there for a strike. So Upton pulled out of the ball game against the left-hander De La Rosa. Their top offensive threat, and he throws a left-handed bat in there. That's how he's going to set an example.
You know, good for A.J. Hinch to do that, because the quickest way you lose a ball club is if you don't discipline or do something when somebody makes a mistake like that and doesn't run hard, doesn't do what they're supposed to do. And he just handled it the right way. Say, well, you must be tired. You couldn't run, so come on out.
This is a foul pop that Hester is going to make the catch on. So Giambi is retired, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki caught looking his first time up. Well, we followed Justin Upton into the dugout, and he had to know that this wasn't going to be good.
Right now, he's just hoping he doesn't talk to him.
A.J. Hinch, you can see he's riding right now, and Gibson's already made the move. There's his bench coach. And he has already been told. I mean, he wasn't come over here, I want to talk to you. He always said, you're out of the game.
As I mentioned, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And because you've got a lot of young guys on that ball club for Arizona. You're 15 games under 500. You're already looking towards next year. You've got to set the example right now.
You mentioned young guys. Nobody's younger than Upton.
Well, that's true.
I know what you mean in terms of experience.
Service-wise.
You're absolutely right. And you know what? We'll just leave it at this.
Yes.
Because he's a good kid, and he made a mistake. He's not the first guy. He won't be the last guy. And I guarantee you that it's not going to happen again. If it does, for a long, long while. Three and one on Tulowitzki with one out. So Tulo to first. That's 3 walks by Petit, and that'll bring up Brad Hopp, who walked back in the first and came home on the Stewart home run. But we're showing the Seattle-Oakland score, and the reason we're doing that, it's 1-0 Seattle, is another milestone for Ichiro. He has 2,000 hits now since coming from Japan to the U.S., which extraordinary. He's at, what does he average? Like 220 hits or something a season?
Right around there.
Well, 19th active player to reach 2,000. Junior, his teammate now with 27.51. Helton at 21.09.
Well, and then throw on what he did over in Japan. He had 1,808. Or excuse me, 1,278 hits.
Yeah, he's got 3,200 plus hits as a professional. When I say professional, at the highest level in Japan, and as a major leaguer in the United States.
It'll take him another 5 years at 200 plus hits a year to get to that 3,000 mark.
Outside 1-1. And to me right now, and I think in some people's minds because of the work he did in Japan, it doesn't count toward Cooperstown, but for me, he belongs in Cooperstown right now.
I agree. And he's only 35. That's the other thing about it, is he still has some more time to put up some numbers here in the States if people feel like he needs to qualify it more here.
And you're right, and he will, because there's no slowing him. He hasn't slowed down at all.
He still has the speed where he can still get the bunt base hits, the infield singles that he gets.
He's hitting 363, which is second to Joe Mauer's 367. That pitch misses 2-1. 363.
I mean, just those are kind of mind-boggling numbers. And Maurer, to me, when you think about the catching that he has to do, to have an average that high.
And now this year, you're talking about Joe Maurer, he's added the power dimension. 2-1 on Brad. 2-2. Hop trying to get straightened out here in the final few weeks of the season. Hit 320 in the first half with 14 home runs and 59 RBIs. In the second half, he's at 242 with 5 home runs and just 17 driven in. We've seen it so many times in the past. Brad would catch fire. What was so great to see in that first half is it wasn't a roller coaster ride. It wasn't, you know, hit 400 one week and hit 100 the next week. It was pretty steady across the board at 320.
Well, and still has 2 or 3 weeks to get back to that point again.
Didn't happen in this at bat as Petit has his 6th strikeout here in the 3rd inning. So Petit's racking up the strikeouts, but he's also been hit hard. And one of the guys who hit him hard is at the plate right now. Ian Stewart, 2-run home run in the 1st inning.
The high for strikeouts for Petit this year were 8. Back on July 29th against Philadelphia. They're really putting the shift on with the lefties. Augie Ojeda is back over on the second base side again, like he was for Giambi, Seth Smith, and Hop.
One strike count on Ian Stewart with Tulowitzki at first. 1-1. Arizona has always been an extreme defensive alignment club. And what I mean by that is that they'll look at their scouting reports, and if they think you're a pull guy, they'll put a shift on a number of hitters. We've seen it with their outfield before, how they align their outfield against certain hitters.
What's really weird, though, about this, Drew, look at all this area right there out in left center field. Eric Burns just playing Ian Stewart almost like a pull right-handed hitter.
If he hits one to left center field, he's going to run all day.
If you're going to swing your outfield around, you might want to bring your left fielder with you. Especially you look at Ian Stewart and his spray chart where he hits the ball. He's only hit 17 balls to left field this year.
And that's one of the things that managers, infield, outfield instructors will look at to determine how they align. But you have to pitch to it also. 3-2. So Tulowitzki will be off with the pitch. Still 1-1, by the way, at Miller Park in Milwaukee. The Giants and Brewers in the 8th inning. Giants won the first 2 ball games this weekend by the same score, 3-2. And this is a high fly ball down the right field line. Romero is going to run out of it.
He was up there forever.
When we watch batting practice, Stewart, because he has an extreme uppercut.
He really finishes high.
He does. Kind of like Prince Fielder. He will hit some absolute moonshot home runs in batting practice.
And we've seen him go upper tank here on the 3rd deck during batting practice. He's as impressive as anybody at that time.
Remember, if you have windshield issues, Elite Auto Glass is the place to go. SafeLight Elite. You can reach them online at safelight.com or 303-287-5000. Ball 4. So Tulowitzki to second, Stewart to first, and that'll bring up Torrealba. That's 4 walks to go along with the 6 strikeouts for Petit. And his pitch count is 66. But if you look at his resume this year, and he missed some time with a strained shoulder, he has 17 starts this year. He has gone past the 6th inning and worked into the 7th inning or beyond 1 time.
That was against Pittsburgh when he had the 1-hitter.
It was a combined 1-hitter, and he pitched the first 8. But other than that, I mean, going into the ball game, A.J. Hinch knows, hey, my bullpen's got to pick up probably 3, maybe more.
Well, his last 4 starts, 4 innings, the last 2 were 6 innings, and all the time throwing right around 100 pitches. So he's, as you mentioned, Joe, he's a guy that, as a bullpen, knows that I'm going to have a chance to get into this ball game at some point, because he's just not long for the game.
Torrealba behind 0-2. He's checking with Mike Machlinski to find out if that would have been a strike had he not fired at it. And I believe
every
Mike,
hitter does that.
Yeah, Mike nodded his head, said, yep, it was there. And it helps the hitter, I guess you define a strike zone.
Well, you can see
an umpire strike zone.
Yep, when it comes out of the hand now, I have to define that last one I swung at. Is it a strike? Do I need to swing at it again?
1-2. I will say this: Petit has 4 walks, but when he's missed, he hasn't missed by much.
Nope, just off the corners, just a little bit. But that's the type of pitcher he is. He has to live on the corners, because if he puts it anywhere on the plate, it gets hit far.
Down the line, fair ball. Torrealba comes through again. Tulowitzki will score. Stewart gets a green light. He'll score easily. Torrealba, a 2-run double. 15-game hitting streak, 6-1, Colorado.
Well, 6 double now on the year for Yorvin Torrealba. When they tried to go inside the pitch before this, they went right back in there again. And he pulled the hands in, got that elbow, dropped that back elbow a little bit to pull those hands in from the handicap. Notice where his right elbow is so close to his body. That allows him to clear his hands and then hit the ball right down the line. Now, fortunately, too, it kind of kicked off that wall, got by Eric Burns out in left field. That allowed Ian Stewart to score from first base.
Huge 2-out double by Torrealba. He now has the Rockies' record for a hitting streak for a catcher. He was tied with Joe Girardi at 14 games. Girardi back in '95 had a 14-game hitting streak, and now it's Torrealba with a 15-gamer. The only one longer this year for the Rockies, Helton, hitting 16 straight not all that long ago. 1-1 on Barmes. And Barmes with a breaking pitch out over the plate, fouled it back.
One more look at this. Right inside the bag at third base. And that's where it kicked off the wall, got past Burns, with Ian Stewart motoring the whole way. Come in to score. Now think about this. 4 out of the 6 runs the Rockies have scored have been with 2 outs. He had the 2-out home run from Ian Stewart, and then that double from Torrealba.
Rusty Ryle in foul ground makes the catch. That'll end the inning. But Torrealba, like Seth Smith earlier in the ball game, stays warm. Got Torrealba? Yeah, we do. 6-1 Rockies. Rockies up 6-1. What did Babe Ruth, Rogers Hornsby, Ted Williams, and Willie Mays all do in their first major league at bat? They all got on catcher's interference. Strange story, but it's true. No, I don't believe that's the answer.
I'm not buying that one.
No.
I can't wait to see. I don't know that answer.
I don't know it either. I'm guessing. Yeah, everybody hit a home run. That's too easy. Let's say they all hit doubles. Here's Rusty Ryle, and he takes a curveball for a strike. How about Torrealba? He's got 26 at bats this year with runners in scoring position. He's got 13 hits. That's 500 batting average. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. And also that last one was his 100th career double.
0-2 on Ryle. So congratulations on a couple of areas for your Torrealba. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit here, and hopefully the sun is in behind this cloud layer that's moving over the ballpark. Here's the 0-2, and that's in the air to center field.
The first 10,000 adults 21 and older through the gates on Monday, September 7th, which is tomorrow, will receive a cooler bag courtesy of Coors. You can get your tickets to this game by calling 1-800-388-ROCK or online at ColoradoRockies.com to get your Coors cooler bag.
Here's Chris Young. He homered his first time up. Chris's 8th home run of the year. He's hit 32 in a season. He could do this.
Oh, he can. He has that one area, just that one right about thigh high on the inside third part of the plate. That's just his swing path. And that's where he got it, and that's where he hit it.
Well, 3-0. So De La Rosa has kind of gone back and forth. He'll work ahead of some hitters, and then he'll fall behind. 3-0, 3-1. And the overall distribution of pitches reflects that. 66 pitches, 37 strikes, 29 balls.
Mulvey up. Tossing for the D-backs. Pitcher spot due up 3 doors down.
And ball 4. That is the 4th walk. Let me correct that. That's the 3rd walk allowed by De La Rosa. Jorge has struck out 4. He has been staked to a 6-1 lead. Great opportunity to win for the 14th time since June 1st.
We showed the graphic earlier about his run support and how much he's getting. He got the 6 runs today. Now try to figure out a way to kind of grind through the next 2 or 3 innings or so. Because that's what it looks like. It's going to be one of those days for Jorge today. He's going to have to find a way to make enough pitches to get to the 6th inning.
One and one. The Cardinals are beating the Pirates in the 9th inning 5-4 in Pittsburgh, and the reason that is mentionable is that the Pirates, if they don't rally in the bottom of the 9th, will have clinched their 17th consecutive losing season, which is the most in professional sports among the major sports franchises. 17 losing seasons in a row. This is in the air to shallow left center. Here comes Smith and makes the catch. 2 outs. John Hester retired. That'll bring up Augie Ojeda. All right, Jeff Houston has demanded this. He couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah, I just couldn't stand it anymore. What these guys do?
Yeah, what did the Babe, Rogers Hornsby, Ted Williams, and Willie Mays all do in their first big league at bat? Our Affleck trivia question.
Oh.
They all punched out.
You know what? I don't feel so bad then. That's what I did in my first Major League at bat. You should have put me on the list. Exactly. Thank you,
know
Doug.
what? I knew you should. I knew you belonged on that list.
It's the only way I'd get on that list.
I remember my dad telling me, because he was a New York Giant fan growing up in New York and worked at the Polo Grounds in '51 when Willie Mays came up. And Willie Mays was hitting literally just under 500 in AAA when he was called to the big leagues. So I figured he was pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah. And he struggled miserably initially. And then he became pretty good.
Then he figured it out.
He figured it out. Maybe better than anybody.
Yes.
Two outs. Here's the 1-0 on Ojeda, and it's 2-0.
Dan Herron's grabbed a bat. Come to the on-deck circle.
I was just looking down there saying, yep, there's Dan Herron.
Yeah. Well, the only guys they have on their bench left are all left-handed hitters, so that's why Herron's going to get the nod.
That and the fact that it's so early in the ball game. A.J. Hinch, I'm sure, certainly doesn't want to use up a Chad Tracy or Miguel Montero right now.
But I guarantee you, Dan Herron had to go back into the locker room and get his spikes on. So he probably didn't have them on up until about 15 minutes ago.
2-2. Wouldn't have been a good idea to go out there in the flip-flops?
No.
In the shower shoes?
The tennis shoes.
Dan Herron can swing the bat. Hopefully we don't see him this inning. 2 outs, 2-2 count on Ojeda. 3-2 count. Fastball command an issue today for De La Rosa, especially with a 5-run lead. I mean, there's no reason to be living on the edge, and also when you have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Quest high-speed pitch. De La Rosa's hit 95 a number of times. Petit has hit 90. It's brought to you by Quest high-speed internet. So Young will be off with the pitch. 3-2 on Augie Ojeda. And a ground ball that'll be cut off by Stewart. Gets his feet under him and he throws to first. There was a walk and a man left. Middle of 4, the Rockies enjoying a 6-1 lead. This date in history is brought to you by Dex. Dex knows. September 6, 1995. Cal Ripken Jr. played in his 2,131st consecutive game to surpass Lou Gehrig's Ironman record that lasted for 56 seasons. In the game, Ripken went 2 for 4, including naturally a bomb in Baltimore's 4-2 win over, at the time, the California Angels. You know, do you recall, because I know you played for Baltimore at one point, do you remember who was on the left side of the infield that day?
Yeah, well, you had Ripken at short and some guy named Houston over at third base. Hey, right there, hold on.
Where is he?
Oh.
Wait, go back.
We got to go back
We
to that,
got to go
folks.
back. Freeze that. Forget the number 8 guy. We know what he did. Go back.
Right there. You got to look real quick.
We got to freeze it. Hold on. Hold. We got to watch this pitch. Then we got to freeze that circle. De La Rosa against Kevin Mulvey. So Petita's gone after 3 innings.
What a special night that was.
That had to be unbelievable.
Oh, just everything that surrounded that whole event, the way it just started from spring training on. All right there, folks. Look at that.
Yeah, listen, can you not get out on the top step of the dugout for your buddy?
I was waiting till he got back. Bobby Bonilla, Rafael Palmeiro, they're already jumping in front of me. There was nothing I could do. I had to wait till he came back into the dugout.
You know what? They're bigger and stronger than you.
They would have thrown me around like a rag doll.
Yeah, get out of the way. Fouled off. Okay, let me ask, because you had a wonderful career. You played 10 years, and you have some really special moments. I mean this honestly, that you're a part of. 2 no-hitters by the great Nolan Ryan.
6 and 7.
Out on, starting next to Cal Ripken Jr. on one of the most historic nights in the history of the game. Here's the 0-2 on De La Rosa. He's gone on a slider. If you had to put them in an order, I don't know if you ever thought about this before, which would be number 1? Which for you was the most memorable of those 3 days?
That's a very tough question.
Well,
I would have to say the number 6 no-hitter, because I made a play against Ricky Henderson to help preserve that no-hitter.
Okay.
And then I would say Cal's game, and then the 7th no-hitter, and then also I was fortunate to play in Nolan's 300th win too.
Oh, that's right.
So had that.
This is hit to deep left field. Burns going back, and it is gone. Carlos Gonzalez, number 11. Head to Taco Bell as well tomorrow. Tacos for everybody. 7-1 Rockies.
Well, you want to talk about power. It's right there, because think about the home run he hit the other day. He pulled it. It was to right field. This is a very tough ball to try to hit out. It's down and away from him a little bit, and he just stays on it and drives it to left field.
You know what? His number 1 objective coming into this series was to help keep the Rockies winning, and he's certainly done that. But 1A for him, you want to play well. And he was honest about it. He really wants to play well against the Diamondbacks. It was the club that signed him. He was in their organization for 5 years. And guess what? He's had a big series.
Yeah, he cut his teeth with them. I mean, that's the way you look at it. No matter how long you play the game or how little you played it, you want to prove yourself to everybody, including the club, that got rid of you. Yeah, they got rid of you because they got a pitcher in Dan Herron, but still, it's one of those things. It's a pride issue with the player. It's you take pride in what you do, and Carlos Gonzalez wanted to show the Diamondbacks that here I am, and I'm proving my worth at the big league level now.
Here's the 1-1 on Smith inside. And you said it. You know, how many guys can hit the ball out from foul pole to foul pole?
Very few. I mean, that's how we talked, was it last night or the night before, about 5-tool players. One of the tools is power for a hitter.
Well, the guy at the plate can hit it out to all fields. 2-2. So far, Carlos Gonzalez, in the month of September, is 8 for 21 with 3 home runs, 4 ribbies, and he scored 7 runs. And that's what you know, the runs determine who wins the game. And when you're a leadoff hitter in particular, that is a category maybe more important than all others. 3-2.
Yeah, the thing I look at too is some young kids will start to wilt in September under the pressure of a pennant race. The longer that doesn't happen, he's just putting up better numbers.
There's a 3-2 on Smith, and that misses. By the way, right now, just for a moment, we hope to get it straightened out. We have a technical issue. I'll tell you that our switcher is locked up. which happens once in a great while. And that's why we can only use this particular camera, which is a left field camera. If you're saying why are we looking at the ball game from the left field seats, we are working. Trust me, we have a marvelous crew, and they are working diligently to correct this particular issue. Jason Giambi is at the plate, and he drives one foul and out of play. Giambi getting the start for Todd Helton, 0 for 2. Hard ground ball to first and a pop out in foul territory to the catcher.
Well, the nice thing too about being able to put Giambi over there at first base, and it's not a foreign place to him. He played over 50 games there with the Oakland A's this year, but now this will pay dividends maybe tomorrow, the next day, the day after, when he goes up to pinch hit. If he can get 3 or 4 or 5 at bats today, and then 2 days from now he has to go up and pinch hit in the 8th or 9th inning. Those are the other things that Jim Tracy looks at too. You really get 2 benefits out of this: Todd Helton the rest, and Giambi the extra at bats.
Two and one. I asked Giambi today what you were talking about, how much time at first base, and he said, actually more than I was supposed to get. He was out there all the time at first base.
All the swings he's had, it looks like, you know what, he's just tardy and swinging underneath, so he's not picking it up right away. And usually when that happens, because you're late with your timing, you're trying to figure out, when does it all happen? When do my hands go back? When does that front foot land? What's going on? And by that time, the ball's already on you.
Two and two.
And the other thing too is when you beat so much inside, you start to think inside, and then anything from the middle part of the plate away from you, you're late because you're thinking, oh, I've got to worry about in. Oh, the ball's away, and by the time you react away, then it's too late. That's why it looks like he's not picking it up too.
Giambi's at first, Seth Smith at third. Ooh, close. 3-2.
And sometimes all it takes is a pitch that you didn't swing at, was called a ball that was borderline. A certain swing, something gets you locked back in again. It's not one of those things that it might take a week. It could be one pitch, one at bat.
And Brad ropes it, but right at the second baseman Roberts. So Brad hit it on the nose. In the inning, the Rockies get another run. Carlos Gonzalez goes opposite field against Kevin Mulvey. Rockies up 7-1 as we go to the fifth. Hyundai dealers now with Hyundai Assurance. Buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex and printing online at dexknows.com. And by Bird Auto, to find great deals on used cars, visit coloradowheelsonline.com or pick up a magazine at over 200 locations. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Alana Rizzo. Rockies are up 7-1, fifth inning. Jorge De La Rosa pitching to Kevin Mulvey. He's going to be allowed to hit here in the middle innings despite the 6-run deficit. And here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's chopped right back to De La Rosa. He'll go underhanded to Giambi. 1 out.
You know what Mulvey is now in his career? 0 for 1, because that was his first major league at bat.
Well, you know what? He got the bat on the ball. He didn't do like Willie Mays or Babe Ruth or Roger Hornsby.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to go there.
Or Jeff Houston.
I want to leave you out that time. No, you wanted to add yourself to the category I was going to leave you out.
I was getting there before you put me in there.
All right. Ryan Roberts is 0 for 2. How much of a difference does moving up one spot in the order make? Well, in the case of Ryan Roberts, it's a big deal. Roberts hitting .347 in the 2-hole, where we've seen him the first couple of ball games. Leading off in the 1-hole, he's a .225 hitter.
And you wouldn't think it would be that much of a difference for a hitter, but this is where he's hit a lot of times down in the minor leagues too. Out in that number 2 hole, and you just have that comfort zone. You just feel better if a guy's on base in front of you. You can hit and run. You can do a lot of different things. And all of a sudden, you just move them up one spot. And we've seen guys that hit 5th, and all of a sudden they go to the 4th hole. What happens? It kind of changes the way they approach things at the plate, because they feel like, oh, I've got to be this home run hitter now, or whatever it is. And Roberts, just when he goes to the number 1 hole as a hitter, it just doesn't work for him.
Ball 4 pitches, and Roberts goes to first. So De La Rosa's been battling that command all afternoon. The good news is he's allowed just 1 run on 2 hits. That was walk number 4. Let's check in again with Alana Rizzo with this afternoon's great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Alana,
all right,
you look
thanks
resplendent in Rockies purple today.
Thank you. I could have worn Buffs colors, but I decided to go with the Colorado Rockies. As you can hear the booze here for Eric Burns.
I know you have a little report here, but that you would be in stark contrast to everybody else in the Rockies clubhouse today wearing Colorado State's green.
I know. They've been infiltrated because their training staff all went to CSU, so that's fine. All right, moving on to Eric Burns. We'll see. You know what? We'll see what happens after this ball game when the Buffs take on the Rams. Okay,
right,
Eric
nice
Burns.
promo right here on FSN.
Yeah. I talked to Eric Burns today about it. I said, you know what? It's been a really tough year for you. He's like, you know what? It's been a really tough couple of years, guys. He's been riddled with injuries the last couple of years, and you might remember last year he tweaked that hamstring. He tried to play through it, then he ended up blowing it out and was out for the rest of the season. Recently, he just came off the DL yesterday because of that broken hand. He broke his hand. He had to have surgery on it. Has some pins in there now. A pretty big scar that he showed me earlier today. He said, you know, when I had so many injuries, I really lost the love of the game. He said, when you're trying to get healthy, you're trying to get back to playing shape. He goes, it's actually a chore. And he goes, when I was down on my rehab assignment, when I was coming off the DL, he said, I finally got that love and that passion back for the ball game. And he goes, it makes such a difference when you're healthy. He goes, I'm happy to be back. Hopefully, no more injuries for Burnsy, guys.
Now it's 3-0. Thanks, Alana. Burns with a 3-0 count after a 4-pitch walk to Roberts. And here comes Tulowitzki.
We get to add to Alana's story a little bit for Burns. I can understand that, where he's coming from there, because you feel like you're just kind of on an island. And the Rockies have some of those guys that are going through Taylor Buchholz, Tommy John surgery. Hopefully be back by the end of June next year. Jeff Francis. And it's not until you can start actually playing again, where you're picking up a baseball or hitting or playing in a game where you feel like this baseball is fun.
And now he's walked back-to-back hitters. And this normally would be where Upton's at the plate, but he was removed after hitting a 420-foot single. He thought he hit it out, and he's jogging, and he only got a single out of it. So at the end of the inning, he was removed by his manager, A.J. Hinch, in favor of Alex Romero. And Romero coming up for the first time.
Yeah, and this is where Jorge has to take advantage of that, because you do have the lefty in Alex Romero, and lefty's just hitting .210 off of Jorge De La Rosa this year, and that's why A.J. Hinch went to the predominantly right-handed lineup.
Right fielder, number 28, Alex Romero.
Even after the back-to-back walks, an opportunity with Romero, make one pitch, double play, out of the inning.
Yep. And that's 9 straight out of the zone.
And now you can just kind of see the body language for the guys out in the field.
88 pitches, 44 and 44. 44 strikes, 44 balls.
That's exactly the way it's been today, too.
There it is. De La Rosa's, when he's been in the zone, he gave up the home run to Young. And he gave up a base hit. As we said, it really should have been a double off the bat of Upton. That's it. 2 hits, 1 run. And this ball in the air to left field. Smith will make the catch. Everybody returns to their respective bases, and that is the second out.
And that's the thing about it, is when he's been able to put the ball there, even when he's fallen behind, it really hasn't been a whole lot of good swings, balls that have been hit hard off him.
Two outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Milwaukee, nothing cooking against Sergio Romo and the Giants. Tied at 1. Distinct possibility that ball game goes extra innings. Mark Reynolds 0 for 1 and a walk. He struck out in the 3rd inning. Speaking of extra innings, Atlanta led the Cincinnati Reds 2-1 in the 8th, but the Reds caught them, and they're now in the 12th inning, tied at 2. The Reds trying to win for the 7th straight time. After that ball game, they come here. C.B. Buckner says he went around.
Mark Reynolds doesn't believe so. We get a good look from the side angle when we take a look and see if Reynolds swung at that ball.
One and two.
Well, we weren't able to check from the side there. Still had a little bit of technical issues. But just seeing from his reaction, didn't think so. But now you got him in a good spot if you're De La Rosa. You can work it up high if you can command one fastball. If you can go up into the zone, get him to chase that high fastball. If you feel like, you know what, he couldn't get to that, throw the splitter down again, see if he'll check his swing.
Two and two. And now at the pitch count in the mid-90s, and with the erratic control of De La Rosa, Jim Tracy, I would not be shocked to see him after this inning go to his bullpen for the final 4. Big lead. De La Rosa will be the pitcher of record. So he can win his 14th. 2-2. 3-2.
Yeah, that's what Jim's looking at, trying to sneak out through the 5th inning here just to get him an opportunity for a win. But when he walks this guy, maybe gives up a base hit, you're not going to have much option other than to go ahead and get somebody loose down in the bullpen.
And there's one other small factor. It's smaller than the team, obviously, but you want him to have a positive feeling leaving. Bravo. I mean, he's made such significant strides in every which way this year. 13-9 record, 13 wins since June 1st, #1 in baseball, chance to win his 14th, overcoming some inner demons, dealing with the ups and downs of pitching, and you don't want to see him
take a
step backward or have to leave a ball game he's way ahead in. Here's the 3-2 again, ball 4. So now Rusty Ryle will come up. Apodaca can't go out there. He's been out once. 3 walks have loaded the bases here in the 5th.
Juan Rincon's warming up now. Just happened about 30 seconds ago. He grabbed the baseball and went out there.
6 walks. And you think along with Jim Tracy, he's looking at the lineup card. He goes, all right, if Ryle, gets a hit, and now it's 7-3. You got Chris Young up next. He could very easily make it 7-6.
He could run into one.
Yeah. This is where it's so tough to be a manager.
Arizona, with the bases loaded this year, hitting .228 as a team, which is 27th in all of baseball.
On the ground is short.
Thank you.
De La Rosa is going to be steaming when he gets to the dugout. That's part of his makeup. But he gets out of it. Jorge De La Rosa has your basic two-hitter going. Well, maybe not your basic two-hitter. He has walked 6, and Rockies may very well go to the bullpen. The good news for Jorge is he, unless things change dramatically, he's in line for his 14th win of the year. Ian Stewart at the plate against Kevin Mulvey. Second inning of work from Mulvey. And Stewart takes ball 1. Here's our AAA How Far Did It Travel? Ian Stewart, his first time up, hit a 2-run home run that went 407 feet. How Far Did It Travel? Brought to you by AAA Travel. And that's 2-0. Mulvey last inning had issues of his own. He gave up a home run to Carlos Gonzalez. Then he walked Smith, walked Giambi, got Tulowitzki to fly out. Brad Hopp hit a bullet, but right at the second baseman, Ryan Roberts. 2-1.
Ian Stewart against Arizona this year hit .325, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. The next Dollar Hot Dog Night is Tuesday, September 8th against the Cincinnati Reds. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive a coupon for a $1 hot dog courtesy of Hebrew Nationals. You know where to get the tickets. We'll get them for Dollar Hot Dog Night.
So another walk. You know, De La Rosa's had trouble with control. He's walked 6. But Petit, who has gone after 3 innings, he walked 4. Mulvey's now walked 3. That's 7 free passes. This has not been an exceptionally well-pitched ball game.
Well, you think about it. This is the bottom of the 5th inning. We've played almost 2 hours here. A lot of traffic out there. But the Rockies have driven in the runs when they've had the traffic out there. Conversely, Arizona's just 1 for 20 in the series with runners in scoring position.
Here's Jorvi Torrealba. Doubled in 2 runs his last time up. Kept that hitting streak alive. 15 ball games now, the longest current streak in big league baseball. One ball, 1 strike.
If you look at it, tomorrow is a day game, so he's almost got 24 hours before tomorrow's game, so we'll be back in there, and then 2 night games. Really,
today I wasn't sure if it would be Chris or Jorvit after the night game last night. Jim Tracy said, I got to play the hot hand. Stewart takes off, little hit and run. And that's a really good job by Jorvit Torrealba. Explain that. That's a tough pitch.
It really is. And you're looking to try to hit the ball to the right side. And that ball just ran right in onto his knuckles. If he would have hit a spot right where he wanted to because of Roberts covering, if he would have come back over into that area right there, he would have been able to hit it. But that's going right off the label. Look at where this elbow is, so close to the body. He's just trying to fight the ball over to the right side.
And you know what? Goes to the dugout and he gets high fives. Well, he did his job.
He does. And the other thing, too, the reason Jim Tracy put the hit and run on there, you're thinking, okay, what? Jorvit's the number 7 hole hitter. The pitcher's 2 spots down. Well, he already knew that he was going to pinch hit for the pitcher in De La Rosa. So let's go ahead and make that traffic out there start to move along, because I'm going to have a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, so I don't have to worry about that. Garrett Atkins is the guy right now for Jim Tracy to come out and get on the on-deck circle.
Oh, 2 on Barmes, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Stewart in scoring position. Strike 3. So that'll bring up Garrett Atkins. He'll pinch hit for De La Rosa.
Slider right on the inside, just backed up. Sometimes that's the best pitch in baseball, the one that doesn't break like you think it was going to if you're the pitcher, but it works just the same because the hitter doesn't pick it up.
And Atkins takes ball 1.
Garrett Atkins on the year as a pinch hitter, 4 for 19 with 4 RBIs.
That's going to turn foul. But it was a majestic flight.
Yeah, it was. It got a lot of fans excited here up onto their feet. Just took a little too much.
Here's the 1-1 on Garrett. 1-2. And the 2-2 is fouled off. Carlos Gonzalez is on deck. He's already homered today. Carlos has 11 home runs. You realize the Rockies, Huey, have 8 players that have hit double digits in home runs. It is the first time in franchise history they can make that claim. You go back to the Blake Street Bomber days, they never had 8. Line drive, right field, and a sinking liner's caught by Romero. If he doesn't make that catch, he's going to run all the way to the wall. So Romero robs Atkins. We'll go to the 6th. Brought to you by StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Colorado Rockies. By the great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Back at Coors Field, joined by Jeff Hewson and Alana Rizzo. I'm Drew Goodman. The lights on because we've had some dark clouds overhead. The Rockies have made a pitching change. They pinch hit with Atkins in the bottom of the 5th inning. Juan Rincon will take over for De La Rosa, who's the pitcher of record on the plus side. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. So Rincon for De La Rosa, who has an outstanding chance at winning his 14th ball game of the year and matching Jason Marquis for the club lead.
And what Jim Tracy's hoping for, when Rincon can give him 2 or 3 innings possibly. I think back to that game against the Dodgers when he threw 4 quality innings. It was about 45 pitches. Tracy will take that today.
Chris Young, a home run and a walk. 2-0. I think all Chris would like to do the rest of the season. Well, you want to win games, even though Arizona's out of it. But on a personal level, get the average north of 200, get some good feeling back offensively heading into the 0-10 season. Well, you didn't want to see that. 3-0. What is it today about throwing strikes?
I don't know. Maybe it's the mound. Maybe it's off somehow. No, just kidding, because Mark Rasm's one of the best ground screw guys there is. But it has not been a good day for pitchers trying to locate strikes on either side.
De La Rosa goes 5 innings, allows a run on 2 hits. Gonzalez still going back. He's going to run out of room. It's another home run. Chris Young has hit 2 home runs today. That's the whole offense for Arizona. Ninth home run for Young.
It just didn't hit your location. You fall behind in the count. And that's what happens. That's a pitch that's almost set on a tee right at the thigh level, right down the middle part of the plate.
John Hester takes ball 1 on a slider. Eric Burns visiting with Chris Young. Two and out.
These are the kind of games that'll drive a manager crazy. The only thing is you're up by 5. That helps, but still you're thinking, come in, just throw some strikes. Let's go.
Hop makes the catch. That'll bring up Augie Ojeda. Well, the Giants threatened in the top of the 10th inning. They had 2 on and nobody out, and Milwaukee able to put out the fire. So it's 1-1 going to the bottom of the 10th inning. There's a bunt attempt, a good one. Rincon, nice play.
Good communication. That was good communication between Rincon and Jason Giambi. You hear Giambi saying, I got the bag. You go straight towards the baseball. Ball cut in a little bit to Augie, gets it, and just flips it underhand. Jason's right there for the out.
Gerardo Parra is going to be the pinch hitter here in the 6th inning in the pitcher's spot. (7-2) Colorado. With 5 home runs in this ball game. 5 of the 8 hits have been unplayable.
It's been a weird game, though, kind of.
Well, all the walks has kind of thrown the rhythm of the ball game off. Parra takes a strike. First 2 home run ball game for Chris Young since April of 2008 at
Colorado.
Coors Field. Two balls and a strike with 2 outs on Parra. In the bottom of the 10th inning, Milwaukee will get Braun and Fielder to the plate, which is never good news if you're pitching against them.
Yeah, you gotta like your chances there in Milwaukee to score. Rockies players right now, they're focusing on their scoreboard, but they're also out of the corner of their eye looking at the other one.
And a ground ball to second.
Nice recovery for Rincon.
Yep, very nice recovery. Gave up a home run to Young. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Rockies +5 on the scoreboard. Seth Smith putting the barrel of the bat on the baseball. He has done that exceedingly well. As he hits it out, his 14th home run of the year. That came in the 1st inning. Carlos Gonzalez a home run in the 4th inning. Ian Stewart also a home run today. That's the Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can. Well, from Lone Tree, Colorado, Daniel Schlereth takes over. Second time we've seen him in the series. Daniel, their #1 pick out of the University of Arizona last year. Went to Highlands Ranch High School. Throws very hard on the left side. They hope one day that he can close games for them.
Well, he has the stuff to do that. 94, 95 miles an hour, hard slider, 86 to 88. He's just getting his feet wet here at the big league level. I know last night he had 35 people, including friends and family, former teammates from Highlands Ranch, summer league teams that he played on at the ballpark. Maybe not quite as many today. I know Mom and Dad are in attendance. We saw his dad, Mark, here in the upstairs earlier.
I was kidding. We both were kidding Lisa Schlereth, Daniel's mom, the other day, that we were going to try to find her with the camera. She said, "Don't do that." She said, I was nauseous when he went into the game. Here's Carlos Gonzalez. A walk, a single, a home run. And he takes strike one from Schlereth.
I understand now how my mom and dad felt, too, because they used to say the same thing, and I used to tell them, you know what, I'm in control here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Now I have kids playing, and I'm the exact same way.
Pulled foul. Yeah, you know, whatever butterflies you have competing, when it's your children out there, and, you know, Daniel's a man now, but,
right.
It's still their, their baby. That's right. Oh, 0-2. Boy, that's nasty. That was a filthy breaking ball. Schlereth strikes out Gonzalez. Let's take a look at our AAA. How far did it travel? Opposite field shot from Gonzalez. His last time up, a 372-foot home run. How far did it travel? Brought to you by AAA Travel. One out, Seth Smith will come up. Smith, a 2-run home run, a strikeout, and a walk. And there's Mark on the left and Lisa on the right. Avery, the youngest member of the Schlereth family, in the red shirt.
He's jumping on that gum pretty hard. He's What a thrill for them.
That's a strike. Good fastball at 93. 1 ball and 1 strike. Smith's done a great job left on left, which really makes Jim Tracy's decisions easier when you have, you know, a southpaw out there. Yesterday, Doug Davis started. The ball's popped up left side because Smith's a 300 hitter against lefties. Helton's a 300 hitter against lefties. And also Carlos Gonzalez has hit over 300 against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, so you really don't worry about flip-flopping, putting guys, right-hand batters in there against lefties. But he's done it occasionally where he's been able to get Ryan Spilborghs, his right-handed hitting outfielder, some at-bats. You don't want to freeze him out too long, though. It is a nice luxury when you can throw as many lefties that you have and feel comfortable against left-handed pitching.
That one missed. 1-0 on Jason Giambi. It's 0 for 2 and a walk.
Boy, that's still a pretty extreme shift. And Robert's so deep. I mean, he does this quite a bit.
Yeah, think about
sometimes you'll see the second baseman where they'll go deep, a little bit deeper, but then they have the lip of the grass and the dirt in their way.
2-0. And think about the 2 hits for Giambi. Line drives to center field, and one really toward left center field. Jim Tracy was saying earlier, that's a guy that has had a great career and a ton of power numbers, that understands what the team needs, what the situation calls for. This big hitter league brought to you by Mako. It's one of those hits that Giambi had. Giambi's 2-run single earlier in the week. I said it goes back to his days with the Yankees. And they have such an unselfish club, and that's what the Rockies have become. they have a team-oriented offense, not an individual-oriented offense.
Professionals, and that we throw that term around a lot sometimes, but it's true. A professional hitter in Jason Giambi, you know, he understands what his role is now in a very unselfish team.
And Giambi earns another walk.
And that's the thing, too. Giambi does. His eye at the plate is so good. Now, he's not going to get a hit every time, but his on-base percentage is pretty high. Will take some walks, even in a pinch hit role. We saw him with the bases loaded, his very first pinch hit appearance for the Rockies. It was a walk, drive in a run.
And I think what we were discussing earlier, Huey, the fact that, you know, Giambi's not out there every day playing first base, you know, in his upper 30s. It's going to help the bat out.
It will, because your legs are really what drives you as a hitter. And when you lose those, and you start to cheat, you start to swing all upper body, and truly your bat slows down at that point. So if you have your legs, you're not out there for 9 innings. That helps with the bat speed stay consistent.
He played 80 games with the A's, 58 at first base, just 22 as the DH. Inside 1-1 on Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki is a young player who has tremendous presence. Giambi is a veteran player who has tremendous presence, not just at the plate, physical stature, ability to hit the ball out, in the clubhouse. This ball hit hard to short. Ojeda is going to flip to second. Rocky's done in the 6th inning. Solid half inning for Daniel Schlereth. 7-2 Colorado. Mom and Dad and rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. We go to the 7th inning. The Rockies 7, the Diamondbacks 2. Juan Rincon's 2nd inning of work will begin with Ryan Roberts, and that is strike 1 on the leadoff hitter this afternoon for Arizona, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. Roberts, the rarest of breeds, a guy who can play in the middle of the infield, and he also catches. Think back to Craig Biggio when you mentioned something like that.
Well, and it's nice to have those type of guys on your ball club when you're not going to be the everyday guy, although he's kind of slid his way into that spot. But sometimes you just try to find your role till you get to that area where you can do different things. So when they're making choices at the end of spring training and say, well, who's going to be our 24th, 25th guy? Oh, yeah, by the way, Roberts can also catch. He can be our 3rd emergency catcher.
He pops up here. hop trying to find the baseball. Now he does. I think initially he got lost in the high sky. 1 out. That'll bring up Eric Burns. That's a huge luxury because how often Arizona was in this position. Miguel Montero was their backup to Chris Snyder.
Right.
But Montero has a bat that you want to get up to the plate more frequently than his catching skills at the time would allow. You can pinch hit him if you have an emergency catcher,
yeah,
and more than an emergency, a guy that's competent,
that you're comfortable putting back there because he might have to catch 2 innings. And it's typically going to be late in the ball game in the 8th or 9th inning. Do you feel confident that he's going to be able to catch the ball? If there's a ball in the dirt, is he going to be able to block it, not allow that guy to get to second or third base?
1-0 on Eric Burns. I'll give you an example for the Rockies now with the expanded roster. The Rockies have a third catcher, a guy who was up earlier who did a marvelous job, Paul Phillips, who's seen a lot of time in the big leagues. And now, let's say late in the ball game, Jim Tracy wants the. He's got it. He didn't know he had it. Where is it? You have it. Nice play, Juan.
It's in your glove. The TR's laughing too. Ball right back up the middle. He puts his glove out. He's looking, where'd it go? Who's got it? Oh, I got it. Okay. Let's toss it over to first.
I thought for a second it was going to be one of those deals where you had to throw the whole package to first.
No, he was waiting for Troy to see him make the play and then throw it over there.
Alex Romero with 2 outs and nobody on. But with Paul Phillips up, if you want Chris Ionetta's power, let's say late in the ball game, Jim Tracy can feel comfortable pinch hitting Ionetta, knowing that if Torrealba were to get nicked, Paul Phillips is around.
Right, or you pinch run, you double swing, you burn a couple guys to get to the matchup that you want as a manager. You throw a righty up there, they bring in a right-hander, you can flip-flop, you can take that guy out. So that's where all of that, having the extra guys on your bench and having the 3 catchers is such a luxury.
Changeup misses. 2-1 on Romero. They've got to the 11th. Still tied at 1. The Giants and Milwaukee Brewers. Hey, it's a final. The Reds defeat the Atlanta Braves 4-2. It's 7 wins in a row for Cincinnati. They're going to come into town with a lot of confidence for a club that's playing out the string. Another walk. Romero goes to first. The Reds win it in 12 innings. Marcel Energy fun fact: Seth Smith now has 19 career home runs off 17 different pitchers. That 18. I'm sorry, 18. 15 off right-handers, 3 off left-handers. And all 3 home runs against lefties have come this year. 9 solo, 5 2-run shots. Rockies 9-4 when he hits a home run. Program your thermostat when you're on the road with the Rockies. You can save on cooling costs if you set your thermostat to 85 degrees when you're away. Learn more energy tips at responsiblebynature.com. Just when you're away this winter, don't set your thermostat at 85. 0-2 on Reynolds.
Well, the last couple days, Jorvic's just working a lot on his blocking. Yesterday with Contreras and that split finger. Couple from Rincon today. Earlier from De La Rosa. Joel Peralta, Randy Flores up and getting loose.
3-2 on Reynolds, who has walked twice in the game.
Rincon was starting to walk off the mound, too. He thought that was strike 3. Might have been off the plate a little bit. Hit Yorvit right in the glove. He froze it and held on to it.
Pretty darn close.
It was pretty close. You can see why he started to take a couple steps off.
Ball 4. Right now they're 2 on for Rusty Ryle. 8 walks for the Rockies pitching staff today. 8. Fortunately, they're up by 5 runs. Rusty Ryle's been called back. Brandon Allen is going to pinch hit.
And the last 2 with 2 outs. That's the other frustrating thing. Jim Tracy's not going to wait around. With the lefty, Allen decided to go to the bullpen, get Randy Flores.
So Rincon will go an inning in 2/3, and he will depart with 2 men on in the 7th inning. Randy Flores will be next. 7-2 Colorado. Pinch hitter for Rusty Ryle. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning, with 2 outs and nobody on. Rincon walked Romero and Reynolds.
Yeah, Jim Tracy was just waiting until they announced Brandon Allen, because they have no other right-handed hitters on their bench. So when he did that, that allowed him to go to Randy Flores. Flores faced Allen on Friday night. It was a soft fly ball to center field.
Hard slider for a strike.
And that's the ability of Randy Flores coming out of the bullpen to be able to throw that hard slider, as you mentioned, Drew, for a strike instead of having to come in with the fastball. More velocity on that ball than we've seen from Randy in the past. That was 92 miles an hour.
And he got some of that velocity back in his last stint at Colorado Springs. And keep in mind, he's now distanced himself that much further from his offseason surgery. and a ground ball foul. So he's getting some of that arm strength back.
Right, and that's allow him to come in, throw the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, the harder breaking pitch, instead of the one that's just kind of a slurvy one to get it up there and get it over the plate. He's able to throw it with more bite and more break to it.
Here's another 0-2. He's got it. Good job by Flores. He strikes out Brandon Allen. Stretch time at Coors Field, and as we always do on Sunday, we stick around for God Bless America, performed this afternoon by Peter Gertensen. Our coverage of the Rockies and Diamondbacks. We take you to Boulder, Colorado. The annual tilt, the 81st get-together between the Rams and Buffaloes. Tom Helmer, Kirk Bowman ready to go. Also on our coverage, Jeremy Bloom, Kyle Bell, former outstanding members of both the University of Colorado and Colorado State. And I'm heading up there as soon as this one is over. Meet my family up there. That's going to be a blast. Always is. CU, CSU right here. Yeah. on FSN Rocky Mountain. Brad Hopp will lead off against Daniel Cabrera. Cabrera making his Arizona Diamondback debut. Former member of the Baltimore Orioles and the Washington Nationals most recently. Jeff, this is a guy, a young arm, who many had predicted greatness for because he throws in the mid to upper 90s. The problem is he really struggles to throw strikes, and he's 3-0 out of the gate.
Yeah, and that's why he's bounced around so much. As you mentioned, all the teams that he's been to, you just always are looking for those guys, and your organization thinks, well, we can be the guys to turn him around. And why not? Why not take a flyer on a young guy like this that has the arm that can throw as hard as he can when you're not going anywhere this year? The big question is what's going to happen come spring training next year.
Well, Brad Hopp walks for the second time in the ball game. Here comes Ian Stewart. He's walked twice today and hit a 2-run home run. Remax out of town scoreboard. The Mets over the Cubs 4-2. Cincinnati wins in 12. They've won 7 in a row. They're coming to town beginning tomorrow for a 4-game set. And ball 1 on Stewart. Continuing on, the Nationals get a win over Florida. That is very helpful to the Rockies as Florida began the day 4 back in the wild card chase. Pittsburgh wins with 2 in the bottom of the 9th. They beat the Cards 6-5. 2-0. Houston over Philadelphia 4-3, and they play on in Milwaukee 1-1 in the bottom of the 11th inning. And the winning run at second base right now for the Milwaukee Brewers. There are 2 outs. Padres and Dodgers later on. Cleveland's defeated Minnesota 3-1. High, 3-1. Toronto in the spirit of the football season. Yes, in the spirit of the football season, scored twice. The Yankees had to go for 2, but never got in the end zone again. 14-8. Baltimore got a touchdown today, and they beat Texas, blanked them 7-0. Detroit, field goal and a safety. All right, we're done with that. 5-3. Boston 6-1 over the White Sox.
We just didn't know how you were going to get the one.
Well,
with football,
I could figure it out, but I think people were. I could hear them. They were tired.
It's baseball.
Yeah. Angels win 7-2 Seattle. 2-1 over Oakland in the 7th, and that's ball 4. This is ridiculous. You know what? This is the poorest pitched game we've seen in a while in terms of command. Now, De La Rosa is in line to get the win, and we're thrilled with that. He goes 5 innings. He allows only 2 hits, but he walked 6. Yusmeiro Petit lasted 3 innings. He walked 4. Mulvey walked 3 in 2 innings. Daniel Schlereth had a clean inning. He walked 1. And now Cabrera's walked the first 2 in his Arizona debut. He's not exactly impressive.
No, he's not endearing himself to A.J. Hinch at all. Hey, the first 10,000 fans through the gates on Wednesday, September 9th, will receive a Frontier Airlines mystery promotional card with the value ranging from $5 to $500. You can get your tickets to this game against the Cincinnati Reds at any Rockies ticket outlet.
You know, actually, I messed up. Mulvey walked 4. No, he walked 3. He walked 3. Trying to make sure I counted all these right. Yeah, it's 10. Doug handed me a note to left. Doug, it's 10, isn't it? 1 and 2.
Have more.
What do you have? I have 10. You have 10?
I have more walks than hits in this ballgame. I'll tell you that
no question. I mean, 10 walks for Arizona, and then on the Rockies side, they've walked 8. 18 walks.
Yep.
Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This ball toward the gap in right center field, and it's going to roll to the wall. Torrealba stays hot. 1 run is scored, and Stewart will shut it down in 3rd. Torrealba, his 2nd double of the day. his 101st of his big league career. He's got a 3 RBI afternoon.
They just stayed on that slider from Cabrera at 79 miles an hour and drove it to right center field. Ball down and away from him, took the top hand off to get a little more extension on the bat and drove it that way into the gap. It was easy for Hop to score from second base, and of course he just frees just for a second, not quite sure where it's going to go, if Romero's going to be able to catch it, and that's why Ian Stewart stopped at third.
Barmes fouls it back. Milwaukee did not score in the bottom of the 11th, so they're now in the 12th inning at Miller Park.
I'm a little surprised that Arizona's kind of playing the infield halfway in here. I'm just thinking of a ball game like this, you want to just try to get the outs.
This is Luke foul. Well, here's what's left. This is interesting. We're going to study this for a moment. The Rockies, the Giants, the Dodgers. And again, the Rockies 4.5 behind the Dodgers in the NL West, a game up on the Giants in the division, thus the wild card. Teams above 500, both teams playing 9 teams above 500. Below 500, virtually the same. Home and road. It's now the Giants that have 2 more home games where they've had the best record in the National League. This is a punch through the middle of the diamond, a base hit for Barmes, and it's going to bring 2 home. So Barmes, a 2-run single, and the Rockies have hit double digits. 10-2 they lead. An inauspicious debut for Daniel Cabrera in an Arizona uniform.
And he keeps getting beat with the off-speed pitch. He got burned by it off of Torrey Alba, and now he gets burned by Clint Barmes. Drops the knees down to try to get that barrel down to where the ball is, and that allowed him, with the infield playing at that halfway depth, with which I mentioned just a few moments ago. I was a little surprised that the D-backs were playing it there, already down by 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Chris Iannetta is going to pinch hit, and it gives us a chance to look at something we were talking about yesterday that Alana first brought up, that Chris, about a week ago, went to a toe tap. It's very similar to Troy Tulowitzki.
Yeah, just take that foot back there right before he gets ready to swing and then go from there.
Chris told me he feels like, and you can explain this, that it frees up his hands.
Yeah, notice where his hands went when those feet went back. They just kind of got back into a more launched position, as we like to say in baseball, where he can now take the barrel straight to the ball. You just got to be careful of wrapping the bat a little bit too far behind your head when you do that toe tap.
Well, he gets hit more than anybody in a Rockies uniform. Cabrera nails him. They're going to have to go get Cabrera. This is a mess right now. I mean, he hasn't gotten anybody out. A walk, a double, a single, and he just hit a batter. And A.J. Hinch is going to make a double switch. This has not been big league.
No, not at all.
You got 10 walks, a hit batter. Chad Tracy is going to come into the ball game. Brandon Allen wasn't out there very long. He pinch hit and he got to play the field for a little bit. Now he's gone. I'll tell you about the changes when we return. And Leo Rosales is into the ball game, and he inherits a situation that most guys don't want to inherit. Now the club's down 10-2. There's 2 men on. There's nobody out. And at the plate is Carlos Gonzalez. Ball 1. In the last inning, the Diamondbacks have used 3 first basemen: Rusty Ryle, Brandon Allen, and now Chad Tracy. Good thing Grace is broadcasting. He may get a call.
Come down out of the booth and go play first base. And right now, all Arizona's trying to do is try to hurry up and end this ball game. They go home after today for
you know
6 games.
Hold on. Hold that thought right there. On one hand, you'd think so. Hey, there's been a bad day at the office. Let's get on a plane and get on out of here. But they pulled the infield in a moment ago,
right,
trying to stave off the 9th run when you're getting blown out.
Which I don't understand.
And now Rosales comes out of the bullpen. He throws 2 changeups to begin.
Yeah, I don't understand why Hester's not saying, okay, here's the fastball, let's go. I mean,
and you still compete. I'm not saying you don't try.
I understand
but
what you're saying, but at some point you just kind of call off the dogs and say, okay. That's why A.J. Hinch, I was surprised they had the infield in. Play it back. Barmas is hit then as an out, drives in, run, but at least you have an out. You're kind of moving forward.
They're not going to win at Stephen. If they're going to pull off the miracle, it's going to be offensively. This ball is hit hard to right, but it is at Romero. Moving from second to third is Barmas. First out of the inning. That'll bring up Seth Smith. He had a 2-run home run in the first inning. Rockies got 4 in the first. Couple of 2-run jacks. Seth Smith, Ian Stewart. (10-2) Colorado. They look to sweep Arizona with the win. They will go to 5-1 on this homestand, with 4 coming up against the surprisingly hot Cincinnati Reds.
And that's the thing. A lot of people are going to look at the Reds saying, okay, they're 10 games under 500 after their win today. But as you mentioned, they've been playing much better baseball of late. And you're going to get a couple pitchers. Tomorrow you're going to get Homer Bailey.
Homer Bailey's a former
Justin
number 1.
Lear, who had hurt his groin.
Homer Bailey 5-4 with a high ERA, but he's got ability. In fact, he pitched very well against the Rockies in Cincinnati.
And Bronson Arroyo.
This ball is high and deep. If it's fair, it is gone. It is a home run. 3-run home run. Seth Smith is second of the afternoon. If he's not the National League Player of the Week, I want to meet the fella who is. Five RBIs for Seth Smith, 48 on the season. He's got 15 big flies.
He's acting like Babe Ruth. I mean, just the way he's able to hit any pitch. The first one he hit out today was down. This one was up at the belt. Raised those hands up to get to it. Also closes. You look at the home run here, just as it goes right around the foul pole.
You want to hear an ugly line, Huey?
I know where you're going with this, Cabreras.
Cabrera faced 5 hitters. He didn't get any of them out. Walked 2. Gave up 2 hits and hit a batter. All 5 scored. So what's that, an ERA of infinity?
It's going to take a while to bring it down. I know that much.
Two and 1 on Giambi. 2-2. 13-2. Giambi's 0 for 2, a couple of walks.
Omar Quintanilla has grabbed a bat.
Yeah,
on deck circle.
I think everybody's going to get a chance
Yeah,
today.
that's nice.
I'll tell you what's really nice. You don't have to use Franklin Morales. You don't have to use Rafael Betancourt. There was some talk today. If the Rockies were in a safe situation, Morales, who's still getting used to not only the ninth inning role, but being in the bullpen. He'd never pitched 3 straight days. Most of the time, he never pitched 2 straight days. This ball's hit a long way to left. Burns, he's going to make the catch. 2 outs.
Well, you don't have to play Todd Helton today either. Give him a complete day off.
Complete day off. 13-2. Let's get it down again to Alana with today's Mike Shaw auto update. Hey, Alana.
Hey, Drew, thanks very much. I thought Eric Young Jr. may or may not get a pinch hit in this situation. Omar Quintanilla at the plate, but if he was able to be called up, he would absolutely be ready for it. I talked to him. I said, you know, what's been the biggest change you've noticed in your game in the couple of weeks that you've been with the big league club? He said, the biggest thing is I don't have to worry about my emotions anymore. It's not about the bright lights or how grass the green is here. He's like, it's just another game, which was the lesson that his dad, Eric Young Sr., told him. He's like, it's just baseball. It's the same game you've been playing for a long time. He said, once I got that in check, it helped me a lot. I said, what's the other big change? He goes, everyone up here is a lot more consistent than people in the minors, guys.
And that's the difference, Alana, between the big leagues and the minor league level. That's what separates a lot of the guys, is just consistency day in and day out. Going about their business and not having those stretches where you can't count on the player.
Omar Quintanilla drives this to deep center field. That takes one hop and goes over the wall. Out of baby Omar, a ground rule double. I'll tell you what, when he comes back to the dugout, he's going to get back slaps everywhere, and the news gets better. Milwaukee wins it 12-2-1. Well, the Rockies will go 2 games up in the wild card. There's a swing of Quintanilla.
Oh, good for Q. I know a lot of people look at it and say, okay, he's hitting 157 coming into the ball game, but only 51 at bats. Now 52 at bats for Omar. Tough role that he's been asked to do. Handled it with class and dignity, and then to come out and get a double today.
And Brad Hopp lifts it hard to right field or center field. It's gloved by Young. Rockies hit around. They score 6 times. Smith a 3-run jack. Careers and more. by AMCO Transmissions, AA MCO. And by Big Brothers Big Sisters, donate your car and you'll get a free tow, a tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. A reminder coming up after the ball game, we'll head to Boulder. University of Colorado making their way in a little while ago. Colorado and Colorado State right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. Chris Young at the plate. Joe Peralta is the new pitcher in the first pitch. Ball one. Rockies have made a number of changes. Brad Hopp has come out of the ball game. Ryan Spilborghs is now in right field. Omar Quintanilla, who pinch hit for Troy Tulowitzki, naturally stays in at that position. Oh no, is this gone? This will be a 3-home-run day for Young. Chris Young with a 3-home-run ball game. They have 3 runs, 3 solo home runs for Chris Young. He's going to eat steak on the way home. Everybody else is going to have grilled cheese.
Well, you just keep waiting for this kid after what he was able to do a couple years ago to come back and provide this kind of power again. 10 home runs on the season now for Chris Young.
He's got himself healthy in one afternoon.
Yep.
John Hester at the plate. And Joe Peralta's pitch is in there for a strike. Peralta, the 4th pitcher utilized. Jorge De La Rosa is on the plus side. Yusmero Petit is on the south side. And this ball being tracked by Spilborghs and Gonzalez. It's Spilborghs with the catch. Well done, Ryan Spilborghs.
Yeah, it's a lot like the one he made last night. Go all the way over into that right center field gap. Just the same thing. Got a good break on it right at the last second. Reach up, put his glove out there, and catch it in front of Carlos Gonzalez. And that's the added dimension Ryan Spilborghs gives you. He gives you that opportunity to give guys rest, to spot start them, to play all 3 outfield positions.
Chris Iannetta is also behind the plate, given Torey Albo's been working quite a bit lately. The rest of the afternoon off. Augie Ojeda at the plate. You know, it's amazing to me, Chris Young with a 3-home-run game. That's hard to do. Don't care how much power you have. You tip your hat to Chris Young. But it's the 8th time the Diamondbacks have done it. They just came into baseball in '98. They've had that happen 8 times. The last guy to do it, Damian Easley.
Damian?
Yeah. A name we haven't mentioned in a while. The Diamondbacks have had a guy hit 3 home runs in a game on 8 occasions. Chad Tracy with his first at bat. Take a look at our Comcast VHIX game summary. The Rockies have hit the ball all over the yard and out of the yard. Colorado got 4 on a couple of 2-run home runs in the first. Seth Smith's had an enormous day. He's had an enormous weekend. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs today, and he was 8 for 10 coming into the ball game.
It was 4 doubles, a home run.
Actually, excuse me, he was 7 for 9 coming into the ball game.
Right. So he just goes out, throws a couple more home runs, 5 RBIs today, a walk. Ho hum.
So he's 9 for 13 in the series with 3 home runs and 4 doubles. Pop foul out of play. Two outs in the 8th. By the way, the Brewers won in the 12th on a Prince Fielder walk-off home run, his 37th of the year.
Ouch. Well, we talked about Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun just a couple innings before that. Prince comes through for the Rockies and the Brewers, trying to come inside.
Yeah, I think Chad Tracy may have been thinking, you know what, Iannetta got hit last inning. Maybe that's the payback. Kind of looked over there for a moment.
I think it was just a case where he just came inside and held on to it a little too long. But I understand if Chad Tracy thinks that.
I think both teams want to get off the field.
Yeah, they
Rockies
just
want to celebrate the win, get ready for the Reds.
Be done with it.
And Arizona, you know they want to be done with it.
Yeah, they just want to go ahead and shower up, go catch the bus, and catch their flight back to Phoenix. They have a day game tomorrow, just like the Rockies against the Cincinnati Reds. They're at 1:10 pitch.
Ryan Roberts. An 0-1 pitch. It's 1-1. You know, it's odd. You look at the scoreboard. The Rockies have 13 runs on 9 hits. Usually, you know, double figures runs, you're thinking double figures hits. And then Arizona has 3 runs on just 4 hits. It was the 3 solo home runs by Chris Young. The only other hit, a Justin Upton double off the center field wall that he thought was out. So much so that he was in a light jog and never got past first base, and at the end of the inning he was yanked out of the ball game for not hustling.
Yeah, but good for him to be back onto the bench right there. I mean, how many guys would have said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and go in the locker room and pout? He didn't. He stayed in uniform, came out. That shows you what kind of player he is. He made a mistake, but he came back out to support his team.
Moving to second is Tracy. Well, to me, Huey, and I never was in a big league clubhouse, but that's the only way you handle that. I mean, that would have made the mistake. That would have compounded the mistake had he then gone up to the clubhouse and said, "Well, I'm done. I'll just shower up and want to sit on a couch."
No,
3-2.
You're right, but he handled it the right way.
Yeah. Well, there are only 2 days left for the Rocky Mountain Raffle early prize drawing. Entry deadline's tomorrow. Go to RockyMountainHomeRaffle.com. Sign up for your chance to win 10 grand. 3-2 on Roberts. And Peralta serves up a pitch that's belted to deep center field. And Ryan Roberts has a double that scores a run. And the crowd giving it to Eric Burns. They enjoy this.
And he enjoys it.
Yeah, and Jim Tracy, he asked us earlier, he said, you know, what's this all about, the boos for Eric Burns? Of course, Tracy wasn't here in 07. He was managing the Pittsburgh Pirates when the Rockies and Diamondbacks met in the National League Championship Series. And this is fouled back in the direction of the visiting television booth. And of course, there's Candiotti and Sutton. Darren Sutton now he's holding it out like he caught it. Sutton, we know better. Don't throw it out. You get trouble.
Throw it. No.
Oh, he did.
Oh gosh.
Don't be hitting anybody in the head with that.
Oh no.
0-1 on Burns, but it goes back to where after the first couple of games of that series, Burns was quoted as saying, they're not a better team than us, the Rockies. We should have won the first 2 ball games. And, you know, fans naturally, you know, they're going to support their team. I think Burns was just trying to pump up his club.
Yeah, you're down 2-0. You're trying to do something to rally the troops just a little bit. And then I think it was only fitting that he made the last out.
Yeah, you know what was lost in that is that, you know, Eric, who is television savvy and has done a lot of work in TV when he's not on the field, he fouled it off. I thought he threw another one in their booth. That one just went above it. But he was part of Fox's postseason coverage for the World Series after the Diamondbacks were eliminated by the Rockies. And he was one of the few quote-unquote national correspondents, former players, experts, who said, I picked the Rockies to win. And he was then
about the only one.
Yeah, he was very, you know, much a supporter of the Rockies in terms of what they were doing, very praiseworthy on the Rockies. but he'll always be booed now when he comes back. Arizona gets a couple of runs, 13-4.
We know you guys are keeping an eye on the Rockies Diamondbacks game, but we're going to start looking ahead to the top of the hour where CSU will take on CU. Fans out here tailgating. They've been out here for hours getting set for this football game as it kicks off the official start of the football season for both of these teams. Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Helmer. Welcome to the Millennium Harvest House. I'm here with former CU standout Jeremy Bloom and former CSU standout Kyle Bell. And Jeremy, first of all, you just know it's football season. Leaves start to change and these two teams hit the gridiron.
You do. You know, the last 3 years I've been in Pennsylvania with the Eagles and the Steelers, so I've been able to be a part of this. And pulling into Boulder and seeing all the black and gold and hearing all the hype this week leading up. I mean, this is college football at its best. And anytime CU and CSU get together, whether it's in Vesco, Folsom, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, you know, I really can't think of a better way to start out the year than with a big rivalry like this. You see a lot of the teams, rivalries are pushed to later in the year, but why not play it in the first week, kind of get that out of the way, get the energy going for both teams. I know the fans love it, whether it's here in Boulder, and it's just an amazing game.
And we've got beautiful weather. First, we're going to flash you back, though, to 2002. First time you touched the ball, Jeremy. You returned it 75 yards for a touchdown. You had to be thinking, hey, this college football thing's going to be easy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not easy, but that was one of the best memories I had in college football. And I came into the game at third string punt returner, and Coach Barnett in the fourth quarter said, hey, Bloom, get in there and return the punt. So the 10 guys in front of me did a great job and was able to take it to the house, and that was a special memory.
And Kyle, let's take you back to 2007. You had a tremendous game against CU in the first game of this rivalry that's ever gone into overtime. 135 yards and a touchdown, big game for you.
I just remember that game being so tired at the end. I think it was about my 40th carry. I just remember barely being able to walk, and they called me my number on that play. And you know, it was just one of those things that you always remember. You know, even though it didn't go the way we wanted it to, it was an awesome experience. And one of those games that'll always stick out in my mind.
And I think both of your flashbacks, I don't think you guys, either one of you won that game, right?
No, that's right.
But you talk about this game today, and Jeremy, what does CU need to do to be successful, and what is the state of the program in your eyes right now?
Well, you know, to win the game, they got to manage the game, and they got to execute the game plan. This is the opening game. There's going to be tons of emotions. You know, they got to get through the first quarter. Both CU and CSU calm down, kind of lock in. Coach Hawkins has a great game plan together, and as long as they execute, control those emotions, band together as a program, they're going to come out with a win today.
And Kyle, I know you like to talk about the running backs, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's going to be an important part of the ball game today for CSU.
You know, it really is. I had a chance to talk to Coach Fairchild last week after I saw him a couple times in practice. He really likes the direction that the running backs have taken the last couple weeks in camp. You know, you got John Mosier, a great speed guy. I think he's going to be their big play guy. We obviously know what he did last year, returning the kick for a touchdown.
Yep.
He brings that threat to the table. You got Leonard Mason, the junior college guy, who's going to come and be there in between the tackles guy, a big physical runner. And they got some younger guys with a lot of tremendous speed. We could see some true freshmen today, you never know. But I think coming in and establish the running game early is really going to be a big key for him today.
Yeah, Mosier took his 90 yards, so he got you by 15 yards on that one. Guys, enjoy the ball game today. Thanks for joining. We appreciate it. Right now, we're going to get things back out to Coors Field with Drew and Jeff. But join us right after the game for the CU-CSU pregame report presented by Toyota. Drew?
All right, Tom, and we look forward to that one. That is going to be a blast. As soon as this one is over, I know a lot of folks probably here, like myself, heading up 36 to Boulder to catch the Rams and the Buffaloes, the 81st get-together. Base hit by Clint Barmas. Chris Iannetta with his second at bat. Chris was hit by a pitch his first at bat. He stayed in the ball game behind the plate for Torrey Alba. You could see in the split screen what was going on in the ball game. Stewart had a leadoff single, then Spilborg's grounded into a 5-4-3 double play here in the 8th. Barmas just threw out a base hit. Second hit of the day for Clint. Kyle Bell for the Rams had a couple of terrific years, and then the knee injury, and he was never
ACL.
Yeah, he was never the same because he was a big back with good speed. I mean, if he got in the clear, guys didn't close on him.
No, well, he wasn't just a plotter. He was that guy that would run over you and then outrun you.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he was 235 pounds. And then, of course, the Rams were fortunate they had Gartrell Johnson, who used to be Bell's backup. Gartrell stepped in, and I believe he's made the San Diego Chargers team. Doug's going to double check that, but Gartrell put together a couple of great seasons for the Rams. This is a fly ball to center field. And Romero makes the catch. We will go to the 9th inning. The Rockies look to close it out. They're up 13-4. 3 outs. They're moving 2 up. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. By RE/MAX, outstanding agents, outstanding results. And by Mike Shaw Chevy South, Colorado's crossover and SUV headquarters for 50 years. Visit MikeShawAuto.com. The Rockies enjoying plenty of Sunday success as they're up 13-4. 3 outs and sweeping the Arizona Diamondbacks. When this series began, these two clubs had played 12 ball games against one another, and it was 6 wins for the Rockies, 6 wins for Arizona. It will soon be 9-6 in the season series. And remember a year ago, Huey, the Rockies went 3-3 and 15 against the D-backs.
Well, and to me, they really rallied from after losing the game Thursday afternoon to Pat Mish of the New York Mets, a guy who hadn't won a game yet at the big league level. So they'd come back and then beat Dan Herron on Friday night and then roll last night, beating Doug Davis. And kind of nice to have one of those games today where you're up 13-4. You can get a lot of different guys in there. You don't have to use the bullpen, as you mentioned earlier. There's a lot of good things that have come out of this. But right now, you're 5-1 so far on this homestand.
And Matt Hergis is in the ball game. He's facing Alex Romero.
Oh, another good catch from a fan who used his glove.
We've seen 3, seriously,
we
3
have.
really good catches today in the crowd. So you know what? The Rockies are playing well, and their fans are playing well. It's what you want in September. 2-strike count.
See, the fans are still into it too. I mean, they're keeping score even at the ball game at 13-4.
And she's saying, you know what? I love keeping score, but today was a real chore because we're 400 walks. A couple hit batters. This is bounced to third. Stewart got a bad hop. Had soft hands, 1 out.
Hey, if you're not already a season ticket holder, the best way to guarantee your opportunity to purchase 2009 postseason tickets is to make a 2010 season ticket deposit. This is a limited time offer, so you need to act now. Go online to ColoradoRockies.com or call 303-ROCKIES to make that deposit today.
Again, earlier, Prince Fielder, a walk-off home run in the 12th. Milwaukee beats the Giants 2-1. The Rockies will move 2 up in the wild card race. The Dodgers 4.5 up beginning play today in the division. They will take on the Padres tonight. Mark Reynolds is 0 for 1 and 3 walks in the game. And a reminder, right after this ball game is over, one of the few times all year we won't bring you a Rockies postgame show because we have to bring you a pregame show from Boulder on the Rams and Buffaloes, and then we'll have the football game from Folsom Field at the top of the hour. Matt Herges just off the outside corner, evidently. Gartrell Johnson did make the San Diego Chargers, by the way. In the air to center field, well hit. This is getting out also. That's home run number 41 for Mark Reynolds. 4 solo home runs. 3 for Chris Young, and Reynolds with his 41st, one of 2 players in baseball that have more than 40 home runs already this year. The other fella, Albert Pujols.
Pretty good company for Mark Reynolds. 2-1 pitch. Just stayed flat into the zone. Hyundai Cam, just a straight 4-seamer. Palm up, palm down. That ball was chased out by Carlos Gonzalez. Just ran out of real estate.
Miguel Montero will pinch hit with 1 out in the 9th inning. That's fouled off, 1-1.
Well, since Montero's been into the starting rotation, hasn't had the opportunities that he's had in the past as a pinch hitter. We've seen that number up to 30 or 40 pinch hits appearance in the last couple of years from Montero.
And this ball is in the air to right field. Spilborghs is out there, 2 outs. Today's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John. Seth Smith got it going in the 1st inning with Gonzalez aboard. He hit his 14th home run of the year, but Smith wasn't done. Later on in the ball game, in the 7th with 2 men on, he again reaches the seats just inside the foul pole in the 2nd deck, no less. Jimmy John's delivery of the game, Seth Smith, first multi-home run game of his career, a 5 RBI day. What a weekend for Seth Smith. Well, Chris Young has a chance to really enter the history books. There's only been about 3 handfuls of players who've ever hit 4 home runs in a game.
Mike Cameron?
Mike Cameron's one.
Mark
Sean
Whitten.
Green's a guy. Willie Mays. We were talking about Willie Mays earlier. Second inning, Chris Young against Jorge De La Rosa. 6th inning, Chris Young against Juan Rincon, and then against Joel Peralta.
Yeah, they're all solo shots, so.
0-2, Matt Herges ahead of Chris Young, 13-5 Colorado. Here's the 1-2 outside, 2-2. 14 players have hit 4 home runs in a game. The last to do it, Sean Green, against the Brewers in 2002. And Sean Green, I think that day was 6 for 6. He had a double and a single also. The 2-2. Line drive, that is foul.
Good thing, because that would have been a double. Damn, an excuse me swing from Chris Young.
Another foul ball.
Cubs still on their feet. Well, Stinger here. Oh, watch it, Dinger. He's all right, though. That's still cheering.
3-2. This may go down as the longest 9-inning game the Rockies have played this year. We're checking. No, it won't happen. May 25th, 3:59 against the Dodgers.
It'll be about 20 minutes short or so.
Well, Chris Young is going to go to first. Yet another walk. He's got a couple of those today. Did he get hit on that?
From the Hyundai cam, we'll be able to tell. Might have grazed his jersey a little bit. Yes, he did.
That's actually a hit by pitch.
There's been a couple of those today, too.
Rockies have walked 8 and hit 2 batters. So that's 10 free passes. John Hester takes ball 1. And the Diamondbacks trying to figure this out. Diamondbacks have walked.
They got 10.
They walked 10. And they hit a batter. Pitch. So there's 21 freebies in the game.
You wonder why the game's been 3 hours and 35 minutes so far.
Jim Tracy's tired. He's off his feet. It's 3-0 now. Somebody put a hex on the mound today and said, you will not throw consistent strikes no matter who stands out here. Seriously, I mean,
or they just
who stood out there?
Baseballs.
Yeah, who stood out there and was consistently throwing the ball over the plate? I mean, Matt Hurge is normally a big-time strike thrower. Matt knows that the Rockies are up by a ton of runs. He wants to get his club to the spread after the ball game as quickly as possible, and even Matt falling behind. 3-2.
All right, finish it off right here.
Three-two, pulled foul.
Crowd's still on their feet cheering.
Well, they want to finish it off. They came for 9 innings, and that's what you ought to do. Swung on and missed, and it is official. The Rockies win it 13-5. The winning pitcher, Jorge De La Rosa, he's now 14-9. Yusmeiro Petit takes the loss. He's 3-9.